I said you better watch what you're doing, cause I ain't gonna stop when I'm moving. I'm headed to the top, I'ma do it. I'm headed to the top, I'ma prove it. And I could go all night, I'm sick of being nothing. All right, I'm gonna be something. I'll fight with every breath, trust me. I'ma be the one at the top, you can't touch me. I bleed with every word coming. I would rather die than be someone who's nothing. I'm the type of dude who will not remain nameless. I'm the type of dude who is headed for greatness. I'm the type of dude who could really make changes, cause I'm the type of dude that's becoming contagious. I'm the type of dude that will always be ageless. I'm the type of dude that will always feel shameless. I'm the type of dude that they say is fucking heinous, cause I'm the type of dude that you know is fucking dangerous.
You are absolutely right. The way he went about it was absolutely wrong. Like, so, like I said, I'm not
of my Jewish hatred that actually goes. Other than the fact that, why are y'all popping out of the sewers in New York City?
Annunciation Catholic Church. You couldn't have called it pronounced Catholic Church?
Yeah, pronounce the Catholic.
Hey, Sneeko, since you hate America so much, I thought I'd treat you to a one-way ticket the fuck out of here. Hey, Sneeko.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Happy Friday. It's me and Rich, the Drunken Senpai, back again for another show. I apologize to everyone for the lateness of the show. It was delayed more than once due to unforeseen circumstances involving air travel, which not air travel like this, but just air travel in general. I have guests in town for 10 days, and so my schedule's might be a little weird for the next 10 days. What's up?
I will
Say hi,
say
Rich.
this though. This air travel, I'm okay with. Let's go ahead and do it. We need to mock this up right now. Okay, just grab Sneeko, throw him in a cannon. Let's see how far we can shoot him first. We'll worry about aerodynamics later.
Definitely. Well, he's got his head shaved, so he'll be good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the size. He's got a light bulb head, brother. I don't know about that. That's not aerodynamic at all. The wind resistance is just going to slow him down. You know, getting him through the atmosphere is going to be a problem.
For some reason, I don't know what's wrong with YouTube. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but YouTube is telling me that I can't create. Like, did YouTube get rid of the whole goals?
No, it's telling me I got goals. I can start up goals and everything here. I just don't.
It's not letting me. It's not letting me start a goal.
Can't tell you.
Wait. All right, here it is. Never mind. I had a. What? That's weird. All right. Yeah, so I'll start a goal. I'll do this. What wasn't showing up on the top? It was like not showing up there. It was weird. Very weird. Very weird. I'm trying to play games. So tonight's going to be a little different. Jim really didn't plan a show tonight.
Oh, well, we got to
leave it up.
I got a lot of things to throw at you if you need me to.
Well, that's fine. Well, I have some stuff. I was just, oh, look at that. Release the Hound. See how that works? Thank you so much. Release the Hound. Thank you. They're in a new place. Cynic had problems. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. What's up, everybody? Great to see you, Bats. NASCAR Mo, good to see you. Thank you so much, Renee Collins. So I guess that means Bella gets the stage. And thank you. And that means we are now just 75 away from ending the first additional hour. Thank you so much. That's Bella time. Bella time. Feel like that Gundam comes through right there, right away. Bam. With a link, see, but I do have the last 2 weeks of illegal alien crimes ready to go. If we want, we could do that.
Give me a second here. I will say this. Other Yellow, hi, how's it going? We got Boom Boom in here. We got CSI referee, which is Rick. How you doing? Rick actually gifted 5 members over there on Off Label on the Rumble side. And right now, the only one that's showing is Boom Boom, and yeah, that's about it. Other Yellow got one too. This is some more. This is somebody else may grab some and they go in there. We got Ken and Shadow Wings on the YouTube side. How y'all doing tonight? What? Well, I mean, we can start off with that one, unless you want to start off with what I got here about Kamala Harris.
Well, we can do this real quick. Sanglant. I'm sorry, Sanglant. See, I'm already all kerfuffles. How you doing, Salty C? Good to see you. What the F? There's S.E. Gatlin and Roselle Jam. Delay is obvious. What's up, Miss Hacker? Good to see you. Guess we got another hour to go. No, not another hour. We're gonna be so. Could have swore it said 8. It did say 8, and then it said 9, and then it said, oh fuck, I'm still not home, and it's 9 o'clock. Shadowings, good to see you. And I thought I read 7 p.m. earlier. You did. It's things change. I'm sorry. I apologize. Gundam, what's up, Super Jim? Yeah, I guess. Not sure how I feel about these free-for-alls, but Jim is finding his way, so we get some Bella. Well, it's going to be good, Pat, Miss Hacker. We're going to do illegal alien crimes. We're going to do illegal alien crimes. I promise.
You heard about Spain, right?
And Spain is crazy. It is. The stuff in Spain is nuts.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was delayed 3 times, Jonathan. I apologize. And let's see who else. Doc's here. What's up, Doc? Good to see you. And thank you, Renee. And I have arrived to bring my unique viewership. Thank you, Jonathan. Someone will have to extend the show if we are here to hear all the illegal crimes. Well, it does take a long time to hear them all. Lurch Linger, what's up, buddy? Good to see you too. Yeah, so I'm a little out of sorts today, but I'm hoping to make it a good show for everybody because I owe it to you guys. I owe you a good show. I really do.
Oh, we're gonna make it a good show. I'm in it for the long haul tonight. Yeah, let's go.
All right. So, first things first. All right. Let's see. Well, I have some stories here. I don't know which one I want to go through first. It says, I guess we could start with this one. Trump says they're going to order attacks on Iran as soon as this weekend. So I thought we've been attacking Iran this whole time. Like, I didn't know he was just getting ready to order attacks, like, starting this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we just, like, bomb 90 targets of theirs not too long ago?
Well, they keep saying we're bombing. We're going to do, like, and look, I'm a Trump fan. I want him to do all the stuff he promised. That's what I want. I want to make America great again. I want America first. I want every illegal alien to get deported. I want, all the crimes of the demon rats and other people to be paid for. I want Fauci under the prison. There's many things I want, but like,
I think he deserves worse in prison. I'm going to be honest.
Well, yeah, he does, but anyway, they keep saying, we're going to hit him even harder than we did last time. This is going to be the biggest strike ever. And then I see this, then they show the videos, and it's the same videos we've been watching where it's just like the guys on the planes going like this, and they take off the planes, and you see like a couple things blown up. Like, see, I'm spoiled. Like, I remember Shock and Awe. I remember Desert Storm. Like, I had a front row seat to Desert Storm, and that shit was epic. I don't see that happening.
Bombing an entire countryside just because
30 days straight, we bombed the fuck out of Iraq, like nonstop. Like, I mean, battleships, 16-inch guns firing. It was crazy.
Well, as much money has been spent already, I'm pretty sure he's like, nah, can we take this a little bit more strategic here? Let's do a little bit more tactical. Because, I mean, the economy's already hurting. We can't be dropping bombs left and right,
Well, that's the thing. Like, the economy, here's the thing. The economy, Iran is not the problem with the economy right now because they don't control the Strait of Hormuz. They're screwing around here and there. They hit a couple ships or whatever, but the majority are getting through. What caused the spike in oil was when the Houthis started attacking the ships coming out of the Red Sea, because that was the stop, that was the emergency escape valve for all the oil.
Right. But I mean, with all that up in the air and everything like that, it's just like everybody already blames him anyway. They don't understand what's actually going on because, well, nobody's ever explained it in any way. You know, and to come out and say, hey, look, we're fucking with Iran right now because we want to control that area for trade again, back like we did in the 90s when our system was, you know, at its heyday.
Well, here's the thing, like the Iranians have a problem because all of the Arab states, basically, the Iranians aren't Arabs, first of all. So all the Arab states, the Gulf states, those are all Arabs.
Right.
They're all Sunni Arabs. Iran is Persian and other, you know, Tajikistan and Turkestan and Turkestan Shias.
Turkestan.
So, well, they have all these weird names. They have them, you know. I mean, seriously, they're like, if you hear them talking, it's like, what the fuck? But anyway, they're more Asian than Arab, you know, kind of. They're more Mongol type, you know, whatever, Huns. I don't know.
Okay, that I'll accept. The Asian,
well,
unless you're talking about East Asian.
Well, like Indians, you know, and Afghanis, those are like Asiatic people, you know, and they are unscrupulous folk. But so,
don't Indians spread poop on themselves during a holiday?
Well, yeah, that's to keep the flies away, they say. Like, and I always thought poop attracted flies. So hey, I don't know, man. Maybe they got special super secret high tech poop over there.
I don't know. All I just know is they smell like onions all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, so what it looks like is happening is like that maybe like because there's several islands in the Strait of Hormuz that were controlled by the UAE until Iran like basically just took them.
Right.
And that happened in like the 80s and 90s. So maybe the UAE is going to get those islands back. Like we got to remember too, like this stuff. If Obama wouldn't have been such a pussy and crying about the Saudis attacking Yemen, trying to stop these, because the Houthis are basically this terrorist clan that's been attacking people, and basically since the 60s and 70s they would go around and do shit. And the Saudis had enough of it, and they were going after him. And Obama like cried and said, "Oh, they've got this tanker that they say they're going to blow up in the Gulf of Aden, and it's going to cause this environmental danger, and the oil's going to spill. So you got to stop." And basically, they capitulated to terrorists, and so now you're dealing with it.
I mean, Obama was a bigger failure than most people actually realize, but yeah,
it's crazy.
He did give us a lot of problems in this country that it shouldn't have ever existed. But hey, we got our first black president, though, right?
Well, I mean, Trump's definitely the first black president. He's got several baby mamas. You know what I mean? He's got like 34 felonies.
He's got a rap sheet longer than me.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely more black than Obama.
He's got more street cred than Obama does. I'll tell you that. That's yeah. Okay. He's the DEI president, though, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, I was like, I never really understood. Like, they always said, "Oh, it's this and that." Obama was raised by his white grandparents. He never really knew his father. I mean, the only person that was, I guess, half of a black father to him was, what was that guy? The guy's name now is escaping me. The communist dude from the communists in Hawaii. What was his name?
Fuck, I don't remember.
Damn it. That was like his mentor. And some people thought that might have been his actual father. Like maybe there was they lied about who his father was. Like, what the hell's his name? Damn it. He's like he was like basically a guy who's trying to like do some crazy shit, and he got kicked out of like other black liberation groups. Damn it. No, it's damn, what is his name? And he moved to Hawaii basically, and a straight communist dude. I can't think of his name now. It's driving me nuts. Ukraine Davis, that right? Isn't that his name? Like something with Dave? Is it Davis? I think it is Davis, right?
Let's see.
Frank Marshall
Davis, yeah.
Frank
Communist
Davis.
Party USA member, Obama's adolescent mentor in Hawaii. Dude, check this out. Hold on. Share this screen with you real quick. I went looking for this. Check this out. I went looking for this. No single mentor of Obama is explicitly described in the provided search, which was who was Obama's mentor that got kicked out of black liberation groups. A Communist Party USA member and Obama's adolescent mentor in Hawaii, Davey, was around a country. Like, what? There's no single mention of it, but here you go. Everything you want to know about the dude who, yeah, exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was like, he was out there, like, if I'm not mistaken, like the like black liberation people, like the people that like wanted to go like to like, you know, set up people going to Liberia type of thing. They're like, we want nothing to do with this guy. He's a nut job.
Right. But yeah.
So that's who that is. And that, so he you know, so that's Obama's mentor guy. So I mean, he could be the first. I don't, you know, it's supposedly, because if you look at him, like this guy Frank Marshall Davis, you look at him and you look at Obama and stuff like that, it's like they look similar more than Obama's dad, that was the whatever Kenyan dude.
Let's see. Oh my. Yeah, he should have fucked dead. Oh my God, that is spot the fuck on, ain't it?
Yeah. So people were speculating that it's possible that he was the father. But then again, like I've heard these stories about Obama's mom, you know, whatever her name is, that she was CIA. Basically, her and her grandparents, they were all CIA cutouts, and that the, you know.
Anything I really have to say that I really don't like about Obama, it just sounds racist as shit. It really does, because, all right, I'm just going to say one thing. We had our first black president, right? Mm-hmm. And that first black president went on to drop enough bombs to equate to one every 20 minutes of his presidency.
Those are rookie numbers.
I mean, it sounds, I don't know about that. But to me, it just sounds like, yeah, that's par for the course.
Yes, like Castro.
And it sounds racist, but it's right.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, but this is who basically was Obama's mentor growing up, and who he hung around. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
right. That is kind of, yeah, that's kind of especially like zoomed in with this one right here. Ears are almost the same shape. He's just got a little bit more definition. The brow ridge is exactly the same. Forehead's the same. Hairline's the same. Eye shape's the same. But dude, that is frighteningly fucking accurate.
Yeah, but if you look at like the guy who's supposed to be his father, the Kenyan dude, doesn't look nothing like him at all.
Oh yeah. The one where he's supposed to be. All right, never mind. Yeah, he was born in America though, wasn't he? Supposedly.
Obama?
Yeah.
Supposedly they claim he was born in Hawaii, but that's why the thing I think is that's why it kind of leans more likely to maybe that this is his actual father, because the other father, when he was born, you know, like the stuff like that the grandmother says, like, oh, when he was born and whatever, like the timings don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Like of when he was born and when the other father was already gone. You know what I mean? Like the other guy was already gone and back to Africa.
Right. All right.
So who knows? That's why people thought Obama was born in Kenya, is because where the dad was at the time, and when the dad left, it's like, well, the dad left a year before he was born and was back in Kenya. So if this is your dad, you had to have been in Kenya. You know what I mean? Like she had to have been in Kenya with them, but then
we're just reinforcing stereotypes in this.
Yeah, it's weird, you know.
Thank you, Adam Chesterman, for the dono. First somewhat black president, Rich. Is somewhat black. I mean, look, didn't he have that? Who was that? Wasn't it Key? No, it was Peel. Who had it? No, it was Keenan, or whatever the dude's name from Key and Peele. That was his translator. That little skit. You remember that?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it's they're like just translate what he was saying and stuff.
Right. Let's see if I can find that.
But anyway, let me jump into this story real quick here.
Oh, go ahead.
So, Trump orders fresh rounds of strikes against Iran. U.S. and Israel expected to hit Iranian energy targets in the latest attack to date. But this is like, they're not. Saudi Arabia has been attacking stuff. Supposedly the UAE has been attacking stuff inside Iran. Like, I wouldn't put it past them that you don't see like the Saudis and the Kuwaitis and all these like these Gulf nations. Like, I think that's been the delay, is these Gulf nations have been arguing with each other to decide who gets what, like who gets what land. You know, like
right.
who's going to get what when we're done. Oh, you got her.
Well,
yeah.
All right.
Kamala, I saw that. She wants to expand the Supreme Court and make DC a state and abolish all. Yeah.
Yeah. I got it on deck. This is gonna be fun with that one.
So multiple sources say the strikes could continue through the weekend. Trump's repeatedly threatened to target the power plants and bridges. He's weighing a massive attack. It'll be bigger than ever before. Here's my thing. If you're gonna go bigger than ever before, do it. Just make it so that they don't have, like people say, like I was always like, well, they keep having these rockets and stuff, and people say, well, where do they keep getting these rockets? They're destroying them. Basically, if you've watched how they've been firing, what they've been firing, it's not like they're launching huge waves of strikes. Personally, I think what's happening is they're digging out stuff. They get a rocket, they cobble together a rocket and a launcher, and they're able to, launch a couple rockets here or there. They haven't did like giant waves like they did at the beginning of the war before they got really schwacked. Like
they got nothing left though. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like they don't, but they do. There's stuff buried. So if they could dig out or whatever, if they're still assembling some rockets or drones, and it takes them a day or two to assemble, 2 or 3, then they can launch those. So go big or go home. That's right.
Just send a couple waves of drones packed with C4 and just start taking out miners. But no, I'm like, all right. I've been kind of thinking about something here with this. He's going. He's going after civilian infrastructures. He's talking about taking out their power, taking out their water.
The Iranians have been doing that already.
This honey trick prevents memory loss, but if you already have dementia, Alzheimer's, or mental.
This is what a swollen prostate looks like. If you want to shrink it, you need to know what to drink. For anyone out there.
This is exactly what I was talking about the videos that they keep showing. This is the same videos to me. They look exactly the same videos of the guys basically on the aircraft carriers. Like, I mean, granted, maybe they are completely different videos, but maybe film it from a different direction. Maybe film a different, thing happening. Because
we're just going to recreate what happened 2 weeks ago just to spin everybody up.
Oh, look, we blew something up, and there's a truck. We blew up a truck.
I mean, those are battery command posts, though. Yeah, those are relaying information all over the battlefield.
Oh, look, there's more boats. Those are some those are some nice boats they're blowing up.
I could capture them and just give it to me.
Yeah. And then you hear about that the Chinese are giving missiles to them. So it makes you wonder, like, what are we gonna do?
Well, look, China. I just want to get, like I was going, I'll hit China in a second, but like I was going back to it, with him targeting like infrastructure and things like that. That's old saying, you're only three meals away from a revolution.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
What if he's actually trying to push the Iranian people instead of putting our boots on the ground?
Well, that's what I thought they wanted to do, but they don't. I don't think they have they don't have weapons. They, I mean, like basically.
Kazakhstan didn't have weapons either. Look what happened to them.
Yeah, Peter, this chat is integrated like the Rumble and YouTube. I can see you. Did they use the cheap JDAMs or more expensive standoff options? I don't know. Like, I don't even want them using JDAMs because those are still cost like 30, 40 grand a piece. They should be using dumb 500-pound bombs or 2,000, just plain old dumb, right out of a B-52. Just let them fall where they fall. Still got those laying around from World War II. They don't
carpet bomb the whole area.
Yeah.
Anything less than a nuke, let's just go ahead and throw it. Yeah.
Someone needs to go in and root out the IRGC, and Trump doesn't want it to be our troops. Yeah, no, I don't. It's got to be the Saudis, or it's got to be the Iranians, or they thought it was going to be the Kurds, so they sent like a whole big package of weapons to the Kurds to get, to give it to the people inside Iran, and the Kurds stole them. So,
well, then again, with China, look, China is hurting very, very badly. They've had like 50% of their oil cut off for months on end. I don't even think they can even take Taiwan in 2027, which is what they've been planning for in the first place at this point. I mean, even if they do, they damn sure can't defend it. Their strategic petroleum reserve, just like ours, is depleted, but theirs is even worse.
Yeah, well, I know they've switched off like all their like natural gas plants and all like anything using diesel, any diesel generators basically are off now. They're ramping up coal because they got their own coal. in China. They got tons of coal. So, but like it looks like they're getting ready to go fast, that they might decide that they got, like, basically they're in the position of Japan prior to World War II, where Japan's like, we've got a certain amount of time we're going to have to move, otherwise we're screwed. Like, there might be at that point where they make just say, we have to go now and take Taiwan and deal with it. Once we got it, we have it in a better position. That might be what they think.
Can they hold it at that point? Because we're going to get involved.
Can we get involved fast enough? That's the question. Can we get there fast enough? If they do a massive strike, let's say, and they try to, like, basically just a massive missile strike on all of our base, basically they'd have to hit us first. They'd have to just launch missiles at our bases in Japan, our bases in the Philippines, at Guam, probably at Pearl Harbor. Launch not
that'd definitely be World War III at that point. You're attacking Japan.
Well, no, they would. That's the thing. They're going to have to attack all those places first to take our planes, all our stuff out. They're going to have to basically try to decapitate, like, kind of like we did with Iran, where we tried to and try to decapitate the regime. They try to do that to Taiwan first. And if they're successful and they can decapitate it, it might limit the amount of resistance they can put forward. But basically, like, Taiwan's been waiting, and it's going to basically, like, they can storm, but they're going to lose. Like, the numbers.
Taiwan's going to lose bigger than shit. Can we get there fast enough? I don't know. I honestly don't. But what I'm saying is, I don't think they'll be able to hold it.
China would lose invading Taiwan, like, to just straight out try to invade it. They're going to lose a ton of people. They're going to lose, like, millions of people.
Oh yeah,
maybe not a million, but a lot, like hundreds of thousands.
In the end goal, China will take Taiwan, because Taiwan could put up a massive defense. That's not a problem, but they can't sustain it.
Well, yeah, they could go. Maybe Taiwan's probably got the stocks for maybe 2 to 3 weeks of straight out all full on warfare against China, and then they'd be out of interceptors. They'd be out of all the stuff, because they've been waiting. Like, basically, like, we've been diverting weapons that were supposed to go to Taiwan and sending them to Ukraine. And then we're diverting them now and taking them for stuff we need in Iran.
And then you got Ukraine attacking Iran over Russian territory. Oh, come on.
So let's see what this is.
Metformin,
oh my God,
and insulin will stop being sold.
Why does it exist?
You who have type 2 diabetes.
They laughed at me when I used the pink salt trick, but after I
laugh at you with
6 pant sizes using just that.
Mr. President, you said they do have some capabilities left. Yeah. Should Americans be prepared for these back and forth attacks to continue until Iran simply isn't able to strike back?
They'll get weaker. They'll get a little stronger maybe now, but they'll get weaker, and then they peter out. Yeah, sure. I think so. I mean, it'd be foolish to say no. You always have to keep your guard up.
What is the status?
So everyone knows, this is in Camp David today, this video. They were in Camp David today meeting and discussing things. And generally speaking, when a president's at Camp David talking to people, that usually means something's happening.
Oh, yeah. There's war plans being drawn up right now.
Of talks. Who from the administration?
Well, they always want to talk, but they break their word so often. Steve is talking. Jared, we have very good people. JD's involved, very strongly involved. We have great people talking. Marco's involved.
Because they say talks aren't happening.
Very good people. We're the best people. But they'll make a deal. As an example, we'll talk about nuclear. And we'll be in there talking about nuclear for 7 hours. I say, why do you need 7? You can take 10 minutes. You have 5 minutes. You should solve it. But 7 hours. And then they'll go out. And I'll say, they discussed nuclear. And they'll go out and they'll say, we never discussed nuclear. And I say, why do they say that? All they do is make me angry. You just make me angry. Any other questions?
Do you believe that you can reach a deal with Iran, given that you talked about?
Yes, you can. I mean, look, I'm losing faith in them because they do lie and they do misrepresent. Well, the other day, the 5 missiles were shot. We knocked them down, but we were in the midst of a negotiation. I mean, I'm waiting for Steve to call me. How's the negotiation going? And instead, I got a call from Pete that they just shot 5 missiles at one of our bases in Jordan. And we have bases in Jordan. Fortunately, our people operated the equipment. It's also very complex to operate. You talk about the equipment. It's you have to be, oftentimes you see, where did you go to school? MIT, Caltech. I mean, they go to schools that are not as normal for the military, to be honest with you. We have unbelievably brilliant people operating that equipment. And when you don't, the equipment, the shots miss, the safety misses, or the accuracy misses. we have unbelievable people. Think of it. We had 111 at one point a couple of months ago. 111 over a short period of time. Missiles were shot at the Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier. Great, beautiful ship. One of the most beautiful ships to me, design-wise. 111 missiles going out. Out of the 111 missiles, 111 missiles were shot down quite a bit earlier than they got. I mean, long before they got there. They were shot down. It was almost, in a couple of cases, they were shot down almost as they were taking off. It's incredible technology. So you have a ship that costs billions of dollars, and you have missiles heading to it. 111 missiles were shot down, routinely shot down. And
I'm sure it wasn't routine for the people on the ship. I'm sure the people on the ship were a little nervous when 111 missiles are coming at them. I mean, just saying, like
a little.
Well, you know,
I mean, I would have been shitting my pants, man. Come on.
You know, like, is our shit going to work or whatever? But it only takes one to hit the ship, though. That's the problem.
Right.
You know. So.
To reward people, I call them up. I'm the president. And they were cool as a cucumber.
Mr. President, the last 2 weeks of strikes by CENTCOM has said that those were meant to degrade Iran's ability to disrupt the Strait of Hormuz. How many more strikes will it take to significantly?
Well, you never know. Look, I mean, most people would have given up by then. You know, they've got no Navy, they got no Air Force. Most people would have given up. They haven't. So I give them credit for that. I mean, they're known as big tough. They're tough.
Back on Ukraine.
So yeah, so they're at Camp David, and that's what's happening there. So it's a developing story. We'll keep an eye on it. And then you guys saw what's happening, right? In Spain, basically. This is what's happening in Spain. This is Spain. This is where we're at.
انا ويا وايش فارق شيء ما تاكسن
Let's be 100% clear to everybody. This is what they want to happen here.
Oh, yeah. This is in 24 hours, brother.
Yeah. This is the goal. This is the goal. The communists, we've played the people the way they say they don't want any prisons. They don't think anyone should own anything. All these people, the only reason they act like this is because they don't have anything, and it's capitalism's fault. It's the rich people's fault because, the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. But when you go, well, wait a minute, if you go back, any time in history, 50 years, 100 years, 500 years, and you look at the poor then and the rich then and the poor now and the rich now, it's like the poor today are living better than fucking kings did 200 years ago.
I mean, you can flush a toilet, right?
They have air conditioning.
You're in the top 1% of the world.
Flat screen TVs, cell phones, you name it. I mean, it's ridiculous. People are just spoiled. We're all spoiled. I'm spoiled. We're all spoiled. That's another reason why the government and the powers that be know we're all spoiled. We don't want to risk what we have to go out and do stuff that, a couple hundred years ago, the founding fathers were like, fuck that, it's getting on time. Like,
right.
If we were a little more rough and tough and living a little harder, maybe, hard scrabble in the woods, and doing stuff, things might not be going this way. It might be a little tougher for them to pull their shit.
I also would say that America wouldn't even stand for this, but I mean, what did BLM prove? Over 6,000 protests, and what was it, 64% of them or something were violent, and they were burning things down all over the country?
Yeah, it was crazy.
And we just allowed it to happen.
$4 billion in damage in 2020.
I want to say America wouldn't stand for it, but
we did.
I mean, that is our future.
It is, but this is just crazy. We did 20,000 a day all the time. I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you've seen some of the stuff in Texas, in Utah, these places where you would think these are red states, and you see like basically the Muslims taking over the streets and praying in parks and all the stuff, and it's insane. It's happening in all these places. Basically, they come in and then they take over a community. They get some power in that community, and it's like they're running shit now.
You know something? I even brought it up to you. You remember that United Nations document I was showing you?
Yeah.
Even the other countries that are listed in that. Korea, Japan is sounding off now. Apparently, they've been having a bigger problem than anybody's ever heard of. But every single country in that document is seeing the same thing we did not too long ago. And it's just insane. It's just like all these pieces are falling, and it's just like, oh, the great replacement theory is racist. How can it be racist when it's all about economics?
Well, it's crazy too, because what was it, 80 years ago, around 80 years ago, Japan was in a boom. It had like a population explosion. You know, and they basically that was like, well, they got to do something. They need more land. They don't have the resources. They've got all these people. What are they going to do with all these people? And generally speaking, when you've got a bunch of people, a bunch of young men, and you got to do something with them, generally speaking, you get the military and you invade shit and you go do stuff because you got to get rid of the men somehow. And either they take the land or they die trying. And that's just the history of the world, people. I mean, that's just the way it is. Now Japan is hurting for people. They need people because they lost a shit ton of people during World War II.
Yeah, they're asking white men to move.
Right, that's what they want. They want white men to move there. Yes, come move here, white men. You could buy these houses because there's areas where the people died and the houses are basically like here, like 20, 30 grand American buy this house. I don't know.
Right.
I'm thinking about it. Like Japan sounds pretty good. It's an island. It's very defensible, you know.
Look, they go psychotic when shit just pushes them too far, and I'm all about that. Because
that's what I'm saying. But if they would just let us have guns in Japan, I'd be like, I'm there, dude. You know, fix your gun laws and let us be able to own guns. I'm there.
Yeah. I would deal with the used panties and vending machines for a $30,000 house in a polite ass society. You know, I'm just saying it.
And that's the thing too. Is like I would be respectful if I went to Japan. I'd be like, hey, listen, I'm not going to try to change you. What's this? Sushi, rice? I'll try it, whatever. Hey, you guys got that Kobe beef? I'm in.
Right.
I go.
All right. I do like Japanese cuisine. The whole fish thing, it kind of throws me off. But maybe if I had to eat it enough, I'd get used to it again and probably even like it. I just hate it because I've ate it so much as a kid. You know, it's just like even the smell of fish will make me sometimes vomit if it's overwhelming.
Well, I like fish, but it can't taste fishy. Is that weird or what? You know, like
how do you want it to taste? Do you want it to taste like chicken?
It should taste like steak. Like if
it's the steak of the sea.
You get some red snapper, a nice red snapper, and you cook it on the you cook it on the grill. Oh my God, it tastes like a piece of steak. It tastes like it's wonderful. It's so good.
I thought we were going Jessica Simpson for a second.
No, not like that. No, I'm serious though. Like, but I don't like it because technically, if a fish smells fishy, if you smell it, to go smell fish, it smells fishy. That's old fish.
Yes.
If they tell you don't eat it. If it smells like fish, don't eat it.
That goes for other things other than fish too. But yes.
Resources are in short supply, like oil. That was their major problem during World War II. Yeah. Well, that was because during, like a lot of people, they don't understand, leading up to World War II and during World War II, the main producer and the person who controlled the United States was the main oil producer of the world. Like Japan got their oil from the United States.
Yes.
And places that were controlled by the United States. So when they went into Manchuria in what was it, 32, 33, I think it was, basically they were the pariah of the world, and they basically got an oil, and then other stuff happened. What was later in 39, 40, I think when they actually invaded China, and then it was this rape of Nanking. That's when we put the complete oil embargo on them, and they knew they had to do something. And that's why Pearl Harbor happened.
Can we talk about how fucked up it was that we were supplying the world at war until Japan said "fuck you"? And then it was just like, oh my God, the world stood at attention. We dropped some fucking nukes, and it's just like, all right, we good. All right, fuck, we just went scorched earth immediately. Like seriously, we're just like, we were supplying everybody, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, you want to attack us? Fuck it.
But honestly, though, if you look at the history and what happened, like the first year after Pearl Harbor, things could have went differently. Like we got very lucky. Like,
we did.
I shouldn't say lucky, but things could have went differently. Like when that first
people played their cards right at that point.
Right. Things could have went a lot bad. Like when before Midway, when we went and ended up sinking. What was it? The Battle of the was it Battle of the Solomon Islands? Like was like the first, or maybe the first battle of the Coral Sea or something like that was before Midway. There was one battle like around Papua New Guinea when they were trying to invade Papua New Guinea. Japan was, and we sent like 2 aircraft carriers and some ships there, and they didn't think we had 2 aircraft carriers. They thought we only had 1 because they had patched one back together, and we ended up sinking like 2 of their aircraft carriers, and they pulled back. We blunted their attack.
I remember hearing something about that, but that was, it was way before my fucking time.
No, I'm saying, like, I watch like history stuff. I'm just saying, but that happened. Like, if that went the other way, if they would have sank those 2 carriers,
oh, we'd have been done for.
We'd have been done. You know, like that was the thing. Like, or the thing, if we wouldn't have intercepted their communications about them attacking Midway and knew about it, like that basically was. We were reading their fucking emails, and they were telling they're coming, and so we knew what they were doing, and basically but we still didn't know where they were, and almost missed it. Like, if the timing, like you watch the movie Midway, like when they're loading the ships or doing the stuff, like if our planes got there an hour later, it might not have went that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, I'm not defending Japan. I'm not saying anything. I'm a Navy guy. I love the Navy. I'm, through and through. We did great work, but it's, you know what I mean? Things could go a different way. Like, we got really, like, basically, like we were getting our asses kicked until Midway, pretty much.
Oh, damn sure. I mean, we were just like, I don't know. I think it was the Battle of Midway that really got America's balls activated at that point in time. And it was just like, okay, so we're in this, we're going hardcore now. We were feeding the world full of everything, and then all of a sudden somebody just decides, it's time to take you out. That kind of, we stayed neutral throughout the entire thing. That's a kind of smack in the face,
We weren't really neutral, though, because we were supplying, the British
we
and everything.
Stayed politically and military neutral. As far as economic-wise, no. We perpetrated that. We let that go. But yeah, we got Rick over here with the donos. We actually sent a fake help message from Midway to figure out that was their target.
Yeah, it was called, I want to say it was like called Target X or Target Z or something, Target, whatever it was that they had a name for Midway. It was coded for Japan.
Right.
And so we didn't know what they meant. And it was until guys were saying, like, it's Midway. We know it's Midway. And they're like, well, we got to be sure because we didn't have a lot of ships at the time. We didn't have a bunch of we had like 3 or 4 aircraft carriers, and that's all we had in the Pacific. And it's like, we're going to send everything. And so we're like, well, send a message, an uncoded message, basically saying they're having a water supply issue. And then when they said whatever it was, like,
he has a deluxe
Sea, first battle, neither fleet ship saw, the other tactical U.S. lost. But we ended up, I think we sunk one of their carriers, though, if I'm not mistaken, during that.
The deluxe sent another one here. Once a Japanese customer potato quality person visited and was blown away by the fact that
AF, that's right, AF.
That we couldn't take him shooting whenever he wanted and catch and eat a salmon at the same day. He had a blast. Well, you know what? They definitely had 2 fucking blasts because we dropped the sun on them twice.
And Japan were like expert night fighters and everything, like their naval forces. The difference was they did not have radar on their ships. We had radar on our ships. And so that's why, like, we were able to do a lot of things where we would get, like, get within where we could target them, but you couldn't see them. But we were using radar, basically the first use of basically radar to attack ships. I want to say it was, what was it? The San Francisco was it was a battleship, but it didn't have radar. And then there was some cruisers with radar. What was it? Damn it, I can't think of the name of the ship now. There's a great story. I mean, there's so much stuff. If you really look, like, you go, World War II, but there's so many battles and so many things where it's like, wow, you look at what happened. And
right.
Like, if it wasn't for this technology, that's another thing too. Like, the Germans didn't realize radar was going to be such a big thing. And they thought, if they would have kept hitting the radar stations in England and actually hitting the Air Force bases, they would have ended up beating the British. But they basically gave up on hitting the air bases and the radar right at the wrong time and gave them the breathing room.
I mean, yeah, when you give up critical infrastructure that's helping them win, I mean, you've guaranteed your loss at that point. But I will say this, brother, I'm going to be completely honest. The only country that I would hate to be at war with again is Japan. And that is only because they have proven time and time again, you will have to kill them. There is no taking prisoners. There is no any other way around it. It is life or death from the moment they see you, which absolutely terrifies me in every way, shape, or form, because that means there's no end to the situation. It's either you or me. And that's the way they've lived their life. I mean, you even talk about when you dishonor yourself. Shit, seppuku, whatever it is. Seppuku, whatever.
Seppuku, yeah, I think it's seppuku.
Yeah. I mean, they're willing to take themselves out just for dishonor sometimes, you know? I don't want to be at war with these guys again.
Well, that was the thing too. Like the Japanese, they did not have, like, the U.S. would take our pilots once you got to be like an ace and all this stuff, and you were doing all this stuff. They say, "Oh, you're out. You're done. Like, you're coming out," and you would send it back to train people and get new people to use them to train guys and bring them up. The Japanese left their best guys out there, and so once they died,
kamikazes were the basic pilots.
Well, yeah. Well, basically, that was later in the war. That was later in the war. But I'm saying early on, like if they would have, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Same thing with the Germans. Like the biggest mistake Hitler made was invading Russia. He should have,
Right. Rick with the dono here. We got radar fairly early, especially in our fleet subs. They helped us immensely in the Pacific. The subs could pick up vessels long before they could, before and gave them a time to set up attacks. Yes.
Yeah. Ching Li, the guy who had terrible eyesight but was an Olympic shooter. Ching Li.
I mean, he got used to not seeing shit though.
No, but he was great. No, he had, like, something happened where he blew. I want to say he blew something up. Did something to kid, like homemade fireworks, or blew something up and fucked up his eyes. Did something, and so he had to wear these thick ass glasses. But he was an Olympic sharpshooter, and then he was like basically he was the guy who was in charge of, like, processing, making sure shit got done. Like, and he created his own stamp that was called, like,
so he was a sharpshooter before losing his eyesight.
No, after he lost his eyesight, he became a sharpshooter.
If that's not the look, that is the best way. That is the best way to say that humans can adapt to any situation, though.
But and then what else did he like? He was in charge of basically, like, procurement stuff. Like, he got put in charge of procurement, making sure stuff got done. And so he created his own stamp. Like, he had urgent, all this stuff. One called frantic. And so, like, he would stamp these things, and people go, frantic, what the hell? And make sure we get this done to make sure stuff moved along. And it's a crazy story. There's all these crazy stories, man.
I mean, World War II history is actually abundant as hell. Anything and everything you could ever think of is right there at that point in time. The Geneva Convention. And that happened because of World War II. Somebody said we're so screwed in the head that we had to say, hey, look, these things are off limit across the planet. It was disturbing as hell. I mean, that's literally like the darkest time in humanity as a whole. Like, I don't even know. Like, the 1,000 Years War isn't even as brutal as that, you know?
Well, you got to think too, though, the whole thing about the Geneva Convention and stuff that's banned. You only get in trouble if you violate that. If you lose, if you win, you're fine. Like, we were never supposed to use shotguns in World War I in the trenches. That was banned, and yet.
Yeah, guerrilla tactics during the revolution. Yeah, you got a point. It's only bad if you lose.
It's only bad if you lose, yeah. And it's only a war crime. It's never a war crime the first time you do it.
Well,
if it's never been done before, it's not a war crime. It can't be, because it's never been done before.
I'm not going to risk your channel after that question, but okay.
Let's finish this up. This guy's breaking into a house. This is great.
How the hell can you not call that an attack? Their first thing on your borders, their first thing is to burn everything down and attack people in the streets, including your own police and military. How do you not consider that an invasion from day one?
Yeah, I mean, look at what they're doing. This stuff that's happening. And this is basically right here. This is them getting dropped off.
Oh, the Geneva Convention came after World War One.
Yeah, after World War.
Yeah, okay.
But there was other stuff though during World War. There was some other thing that was because basically, whatever during World War One, the Germans were pissed about us using shotguns. There was some rule. There was some kind of agreement.
I mean, stop walking out in the fucking closed ass hallways, and it won't be a problem. Okay.
Get them all. There's a cop. The cop is perfectly fine with all these guys coming out of his truck to go and invade Spain.
Yep, because he was told to.
I think it's funny. You know how many guys they can fit in those dump trucks?
Probably around 70, 80, maybe more, depending
Always
on how
one
you
more.
can. Yeah.
No matter how many are in there, they can always get one more in.
I mean, if you're willing to stand like that.
They're just basically nut to butt, and they're like this, crammed together, you know. So
that's not a flashlight, sir.
Yeah. You see all the women and children, they're bringing their families because they want asylum. That's why they're all their families. It's not a woman or
right,
a woman or children. Is this an island? No, this is actually like Spain should have already relinquished this land. Spain, going back to colonial days, Spain has a tiny enclave on North Africa right next to Morocco. And it was shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Like if you're prior to the Spanish Revolution, when the commies tried to take over, and then when Franco was there in Africa, in this area in Spanish North Africa, he had to go back to Spain to fight and basically conquer them, the communists, in order to save it for the Republic or whatever you want to call it. And the Germans actually are the ones who helped fly the Spanish people back in. Believe it or not, you know, it was prior to the outbreak of World War II. It was like, but the Germans wanted to test their planes, their dive bombers, their Stukas and different things. So they're like, oh, we'll help you out just to see how it works.
Right. Go to my screen real quick. I'll show them. This right here, that's the Strait of Gibraltar. Okay. So that's Spain. That's Africa. What we're talking about is this dotted line right through here is the border that separates what is Spain territory in Africa. This right here is what they're invading at this point. Once they get to here, you know full well they're going to be shipped over here. And then from there, it's wherever Europe wants to take them.
Yeah, Spain used to control pretty much a lot more of that prior to World War II.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a lot more of that area. And then, you know, like if you're about like
But dude, I'm going to be honest with you. You know the reason why this name, this Kuta name or whatever the hell it is, actually popped into my head and I knew exactly where it was? There's a game called Medieval Total War.
Oh, yeah, I played that, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the way into Africa was through Spain. Either that or you had to go around the entire Mediterranean. That was the only way in unless you took boats.
Yeah, I like playing. There's a bunch of mods for that. Like I played one. There's like one called Silver. What's it called? Stainless Steel or something like that. Then there's one where you're basically with the Crusades. There's a mod for you're doing the Crusades and stuff. And
anybody wants a laid back game where you don't have to really put a lot of thought in every second. You don't have to pay attention. That's one of those for you. It really is. You got to build up an
older
economy.
Game. It doesn't have a lot. Like you don't see a lot. There's not like you're not like fighting battles. It's all just done on its own.
You can fight the battles if you want to.
You can actually. You can. You don't have to do the automatic thing. But there's a great Lord of the Rings games that they transformed Medieval 2 into like a mods to make it for like Lord of the Rings basically.
The
whole battle Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's called like I can get you the information. It's really good. But yeah, so EU is suspending travel between countries. Yes, that's the news is that they're suspending travel between countries.
Oh, but hold on. If they're in Spain, Do they not get to travel to Spain?
Well, no, but Italy and all these other countries basically said, no more. You're not coming from Spain into Italy. You're not coming from Spain into France. Like,
I mean, didn't Texas say that to our own government in Arizona? What happened to that?
Well, you can't. The U.S. is different. This is a different.
I mean,
thing.
It is country to country at that point. You got a point, but I don't know. I don't really see that going well at that point in time. Like maybe Italy. I think Europe's, or I think Britain's had enough of it. Germany's up to their heels in the shit. So maybe, just maybe, there might be a stop, but it ain't gonna be that much.
Well, Spain. The thing is, Spain is they're basically Spain is being run by communists that are really corrupt, and they've been doing a lot of shit. And their Supreme Court did some kind of ruling, basically saying like, oh no, you basically like all these, like, because the president declared. I think it's the president of Spain, or maybe the prime minister, whoever he is. This guy Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa, yeah. Hector Gomez or something, or Jesus. But anyway, or Gonzalo. I don't know. Anyway, whatever his name is, he decided that he was going to basically say that 500,000 illegal aliens that came into Spain, you're all citizens now.
Yeah, they gave amnesty again and again, and they're going to continue to do it. But I don't know. Since the FIFA World Cup, everybody has come over here.
That's Dirty Sanchez. That's his name, Dirty Sanchez.
Everybody's come over here to see how we lived, and they're just kind of like, all right, why are we doing this in our home at this point in time? So I don't know. I think most of the world has seen the way we really do live, and they're like, we got this all wrong. So I don't know. Maybe there is some kind of hope out there for Europe as a whole, but I doubt it. I mean, I really do. There isn't enough outrage yet over there. I mean, they're still going to jail for words that they said online, and ain't nobody gotten up in arms, And I don't mean that as in like an armed conflict. I'm just saying they're just like, oh, that's bad. He got locked up for pet. Anyway, how are you doing?
It's crazy, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, oil prices are still moving up. They're up to $87 a barrel now, so that's not good. That's not good. But so yeah, African migrants seen on video attempting to break into Ceuta. I believe that's how you pronounce that. Ceuta. Buildings as a crisis escalates. So video circulating appear to show the migrants entering buildings in Ceuta as the border crisis with Morocco intensifies. You saw some of this. And he's trying to break in the house, break the windows in to get in, and he just wants a place to sleep is all.
Yeah.
Video's been spread across social media and show migrants gathered around buildings attempting to force their way inside.
Mira. Tía,
Mira.
detrás de mi casa. Ya la averigué que hay
en la casa. Mira.
Esos dos colchones la acaban de sacar. Y mira, eso es la casa de mi hermano. Donde vive mi hermano. Y ya hay un montón ahí. Mira. Están limpiando la casa. Y mira.
You would think maybe somebody would it's time to start maybe blasting,
Yeah, they can't blast.
Somebody's
they ain't got nothing to blast with.
No, there's people that have stuff still hidden away. I mean, you would think somebody was smart enough to have something buried somewhere or tucked up in the attic and ready, waiting just in case. Oh yeah, El Presidente, Dwayne Elizondo, Mountain Dew, Herbert Camacho. Yes, idiocracy. Why worry about Putin when the real threat is coming from Africa and the Middle East? Exactly. So.
Well, then again, I've also said this. Hold on. I've also said this many times on Off Label. Why in the hell would I send even one single bullet over your way to attack you when you let my army in with open arms and you fund them to give them everything?
It's crazy. It is. It's insane.
Go ahead. Where was? Oh, I got one. And now I don't wanna. But apparently, things have gotten real violent in there. I saw a video.
Yeah, super violent.
Yeah, I saw the video of one dude getting stabbed in the neck. and bleeding out as they let the dude run away.
And I've seen videos of women, you know, the leftist, whatever commie women going, come on in here, come on, yeah, we want you. It's like,
you're going to be their next victim tonight. Yeah. But hey, you know what? You won't. The stupid only learn when pain comes their way.
there's a guy breaking into a house. Breaking into a house. Like, do something about it, though. You're videotaping it. Why don't you go down there and stop them? You know, like if this was me and I lived there and I'm seeing somebody breaking into my neighbor's house, I'm going to be out there, you know, busting grapes.
Right.
I don't know.
Manda cojones. Anda, una tía, estoy viendo una tía. Manda cojones, una tía. Qué fuerte, tío.
This is crazy. So. Just peace. It's fiery, but mostly peaceful, as you can see. It's fiery, but mostly peaceful. So, Spanish officials have not confirmed the details surrounding the overnight incidents shown in the videos. Local authorities have warned the territory's resources have been heavily strained. Of course, earlier footage of the border showed large groups of invaders crossing into Ceuta from Morocco. The situation is absolute chaos. Reports have also emerged claiming migrants have begun entering Spain's other North African enclave, Melilla. Spanish authorities have not yet confirmed this. So this is the other one, Melilla. I don't know. Maybe you should do something about it instead of just filming it. Spanish government announced that they're going to send the armed forces would assist the civil guard, but I saw the pictures. The armed forces weren't doing anything.
Yeah, no. They were just standing by watching it happen and actually directing them through.
It's an invasion for sure. Do they allow guns? I don't think any European country allows their people to have guns. If anything, you got to have like strictly permitted and stuff. You know, but if you're a criminal, you can have them. You know. Then here is a video of a young woman crying, being described being harassed and surrounded by the Moroccan migrants. But you guys might wonder, like, wait a minute, why are all these Muslims and people? Why are they, why are they coming in from Africa? They don't look like Africans. Well, the reason is because they came from Medina, but they invaded Africa to turn it from Christian to Muslim because that's what they do. And now they're going up to Spain. I mean, this is the same. This is kind of similar. This is a repeat. I don't know why Spain doesn't realize this. This is what happened with the Moors, 700 years ago, 800 years ago.
Right.
And it's basically like crusades to fucking push them back. Yes. Gun ownership is highly restricted.
Sorry. I had to send a message.
Is it because I have ad blocker on?
Probably, but I got what you're talking about there. Let me see. Where is it? Let me find it.
It's this UK news prop that's supposed to be some woman crying about.
You got a minute? Yep. Let's share this tab instead.
Woman, this is.
Now this is just like 19 seconds of it, but yeah.
As a woman, this is something to experience. This is an invasion. They started with Ceuta, but this is the border to Spain, the border to Europe. Today it was Melilla. Tomorrow it will be the Canary Islands. The day after it will be Tarifa. Honestly, it's just not right.
Yes, they did use a voiceover for that.
Okay.
Translated with AI.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just not right.
That's crazy. Crazy.
And then after the fact, after she was done speaking, every single one of those fucking migrants, look at this dude right here. He's laughing. Every single one of those migrants broke out in a cheer and started praising the fact that they were let in while this woman was screaming, she's scared, with them surrounding her live on camera at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Out in Spain. Let me see if I can find the one without AI to it. I thought that was funny as hell, though.
Oh, it is.
Let's see. Yeah.
Esto es para vivirlo. Esto es una invasión. Han empezado por Ceuta, pero esto es la frontera a España, la frontera a Europa.
None of the people surrounding her understand what she's saying, so she can say whatever she wants. They don't know.
Right.
Lorena, la verdad que ahora estamos en un momento muy complicado.
Como mujer.
She's sitting there saying, I'm scared for my fucking life at this point in time.
And they're cheering. Yay.
Yep.
Dirty Sanchez is Dirty Muhammad now. This is good. This woman basically telling them that she wants them to come.
Yeah.
Y claro, pedirles a las personas migrantes.
I want to ask you, migrants and radicalized people, to please not leave us on our own with all these fascists. And of course, we want them to vote. Absolutely. We managed them to get papers, regulation now, and now we are going to get them citizenship. Or change the law so they can vote. I hope that replacement theory can help us sweep this country clean of fascist and racist people, with migrants and working class people. Of course, I want there to be a replacement of fascists, replacement of racists, replacement of freeloaders, and I want us to do it with the working class of this country, no matter their skin color, whether they're Chinese, black, or brown, with all the working class comrades in this country.
Yeah, that's what they want. 100% what they want.
Now, hold on. Now, we know how our elections are fucked in this country, right?
Yeah. They're more fucked than these other countries, I'm pretty sure. They're way worse.
Did they vote for this? Or was it pushed on them like they tried to do with us?
It probably was pushed on them same way, same way that they would look at. I mean, any of the countries that tried to fight against it in Europe, they got their elections. Basically like Romania, Hungary. What they did to these countries, like they did Poland. Basically, they installed this communist Tusk in Poland, who's now talking about letting them in. Like, no.
But apparently, Russia striking Poland is a problem, even though they have a communist in there. Russia strikes Poland. And we're supposed to be up in arms. NATO scrambles fucking jets and shit for that.
Well, I'm pretty sure the first time they claimed that a Russian missile struck Poland, it actually turned out it was a Ukrainian missile that went off course. That was the first time. This one, it could
don't
be
ask questions. Thing. Article 5 right now.
Yeah. Don't ask questions. But it was a Ukrainian missile. And this one, it wasn't an attack on Poland. It was an attack on Ukraine. And either the missile got intercepted and fell into Poland. It got intercepted over Polish air because it, like they purposely hit it over Poland so it would blow up and fall on Poland. Say, hey, look, they attacked Poland. It's like, no, you blew it up over Poland. It was just flying over.
Right. But then again, I mean, it's the same shit. Even with the whole thing of Lindsey Graham, the death of Lindsey Graham, everybody's like, oh, Russia struck the hotel and the drone plant he was at. Russia did it. It's more likely that actually Ukraine did it.
I mean, Ukraine blew up the fucking pipeline because they wanted to draw the stuff in. So that's why I was like, when he died, I was like, wait a minute, less than 24 hours after he was with Zelensky in Ukraine at this missile thing, he's dead. I'm like, oh, they better do a fucking autopsy to find out if they whacked him just to try and blame it on, I'm like, they're going to try to blame it on Russia if they killed him. They're going to say it was Russia.
Of course. But then again, you also got to think back. Every time he's been here, what did he do? He cried and whined and bitch, moaned and complained how we weren't sending him money. So if Lindsey Graham went over there and said, you know what, things are changing here in America, your pocket, your money feed is going away.
So this guy says gun laws for Spain. Allowed up to 6 guns, must be stored in a approved safe, separate from ammo, must also have a hunting license or member of a target shooting club, must also pass a couple of tests. I know Spain's got some good guns. They got the Setny. They got some other things that you could, like, if you could get them there, why not have them?
Right. But I want to say it. I'm going to say it. You know what? Fuck it. I don't understand why everybody doesn't have arms. Now, it would be a huge problem across the world. Don't get me wrong. But the only ones who have those arms and go around in mass groups trying to just mass murder people are the ones that will be taken out in a heartbeat from the ones who were actually trained and took it seriously. Because, don't get me wrong, we have a problem with guns in this country, and it's not the fact that the guns exist. It's the fact that the wrong people are getting these guns, and the people that should have them are afraid to use them because they may go to jail for defending the people that shouldn't have them.
Well, I mean, criminals are not going to follow the gun laws anyway. They're going to come up with ways to get the guns. They've always have. All the gun laws do is restrict law-abiding people from getting them, because that's the only people that follow the law, the law-abiding people. If someone's a criminal, they're not going to follow the law.
Right.
I mean,
so my only defense, of course, against the government, that's number one, any point in time. But my only defense for anybody running up in my house is myself. Because once the cops are involved, everything's already done and over with in the first place. And either they got everything I have, and I may have skated out with the skin of my teeth by just letting them take everything, or somebody's dead.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You have to be willing to fight or surrender. That's the thing. And it seems like a lot of people are just willing to surrender because they're like, oh, well, whatever. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Just let them do whatever. It'll be okay. But no, it's not going to be okay. I mean, it's getting worse and worse, and it's going to keep getting worse. But it's a scary thought that it's going to, I mean, we're going to, like, I personally think World War III is going to be
It's already begun.
Well, it's already begun, but it's not going to be like this giant, huge, big it's going to be smatterings of basically civil wars in countries, like people being invaded from the inside, these fighting inside countries. It's going to start to break out all over the place. You're going to have instability. Then people are going to start moving on other stuff. And like
wars and rumors of wars, pretty much the apocalypse on Earth. It's kind of sounding biblical, is it not?
It is. It's like old Jay Friff here says, historically speaking, invasions are normal for society. Being 250 years removed has softened people. Yeah, that's the thing. People aren't used to it. Like who's going to invade us? Like America's soft. They don't realize it, because the last time we dealt with like an invasion type of thing was actually Pancho Villa. The last time someone was coming into our
last two times we've been attacked on our soil was fucking what? Pearl Harbor and 9/11?
Well, yeah, but that wasn't really an invasion per se. That was just an attack.
No, I mean, you're talking about an invasion. Yeah, we're going to have to go back since the country's start.
Jim going all Tim Pool? What are you talking about? Fence sitter?
Hey.
Yep, I saw it. I got it.
I will admit this. For everybody out there that's just like, Tim Pool's a piece of shit, he's just a fence sitter kind of situation. Look, he's one of the very few that ain't putting up with the bullshit anymore. And anybody that he brings on that is saying this dumb shit, he will attack relentlessly. Yeah, and I do respect him for it, because he got the fuck off the fence.
Yeah. No, he's not really riding a fence anymore. He's like, his fence riding is more of a what to do about it, I think. Like he knows there's a problem.
One of the biggest voices in the country right now, so I can't knock him for it.
It does seem to be the end times. And I think some of it has to do with the fact that now he's a father, and he's like, what kind of world is my kid going to inherit, type of thing. Oh, the Civil War talk? No, I'm not even talking about in the US. That's the thing. I'm not talking like, there kind of is a civil war going on in the U.S. right now. People are getting killed. There's assassinations happening. There's things, they're attacking, ICE facilities, attacking the cops. You've got people talking about, like, I saw this woman basically saying, like, they're talking about just going out and starting to off cops. Start off cops.
How many people were killed during the Summer of Love? It was like 34, right? And every single one of them was just defending themselves. It's not like they actually went out there and targeted people at that time. Now they are.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is look at Charlie Kirk's death for that.
I'm talking about, like, you're going to see civil wars in, like, France, Britain, England. Like you're going to, like, basically, it's not going to be like, it's going to be the people have had enough with what they're being put to by their government, which is kind of exactly what happened in America in 1865. But whatever,
I mean, we're still on track for what I was saying. Yes, we are going to have a short civil war, but the left and the right are screaming about the same things right now. They're pissed about the same exact things, yet they're still blaming each other. What happens when we stop blaming each other and blame the actual perpetrator?
The problem is, I don't think the other side, I don't think they would because
they put them on the front lines. They're not smart enough to understand what's happening.
That's what I'm saying. They can't understand the whole enemy of my enemy is my friend, or whatever.
They're just in an enraged, manic state, and it's the perfect thing for a frontline frontal assault. I'm sorry, it sounds fucked up, and it really is. But these are the people that are too stupid to see past 15 minutes into their own damn future, and they've proven it time and time and time and time again. Are they going to understand the bigger picture? No, but they're going to understand we need to take this spot right now, and it is imperative.
I agree, Salty C. Tim Pool is more left than he is right. The problem is that the left went communist DSA, and Tim Pool's like, well, I'm a liberal, and I want this stuff. And, so he's now considered far right. But Elon Musk is not right wing, but he's considered far right now because he's like, no, don't trans my kids, man.
The far right is the Liberal Party of the 90s.
Yeah, it is.
I'm far right in that case. In everything, I'm more liberal than most of the people that I talk to.
They would be called JFK a Nazi right now. John F. Kennedy.
100%.
What do you mean? What did you do for your country? Why the country's supposed to do for me? What do you mean? Where's my Gibbs me debts?
Abraham Lincoln is a racist because he didn't do it sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The EU will collapse, but that's their problem. Yeah. Fatherhood and marriage changes your worldview. Makes you think twice about passing cars and no passing zones despite how straight they are. Yeah, I think so. Francis Macron deploys troops and aircraft and drones to the border with Spain, vows to help socialist Sanchez. He's a commie. He's not a socialist. That's another thing, too. They keep saying socialist. We got to seize the means of production. Well, yeah. It's like, that's communism. No, that's socialism. It's like, oh, okay. So you're just calling it socialism because you think you should try to go like.
Well, see, here's the difference. We won't let the government take control of it. We'll have control of it. So that farm that you think you have is owned by the people, not the government. Well, who regulates the people?
The people are supposed to regulate.
So if the government has control of the people, doesn't that mean the government owns control of production and you must follow suit? If not, we're going to take you out and install somebody else in your position. That's how socialism falls into communism every time.
And North African invaders have reportedly started to go back. The migrant invasion of the Spain enclave is developing with Spanish Socialist Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez declaring Spain is under attack. While Spanish intelligence sources accuse Morocco of waging a false flag operation against Ceuta, reports are saying that the two countries are collaborating and that the invaders have started to leave.
No.
Really?
No.
Come
on, you got one person. You got one person of a country who's sitting here saying, yes, this is what we want. This is what we're going to do. And another country comes in and says, no, we're not going to let you do it because eventually it'll hit our borders. What do you think's going to happen in the territory that is owned by the country that says, yes, we're doing this? Yes. Unless you're going to war with that country.
Yeah, the last time France sent its military into Spain to help the Spanish government, it caused a revolution. It did, yeah.
He's not wrong.
Socialism and communism are synonyms. Yes, they are. So, Morocco deliberately transported thousands of migrants towards the Spanish border, facilitating an invasion of Spain. Well, I'm not going to look at it. There they go. I'm not going to play the music, but they're somebody who's paying this truck driver. The government is who's paying this truck driver. These people probably all came out of prisons and mental institutions. It's probably where they came from. Just like all the Venezuelans and all the people from, like from South America that came pouring up here. They all got emptied out of the prisons.
Hold on. Didn't we close down our mental institutions and clear out our prisons for COVID?
Yeah. Well, we closed down our mental institutions long before that.
You can't take insanity out by letting it procreate. I'm sorry. We should have never done that. That was the biggest mistake in our society. Taking the craziest among us and allowing them to procreate was the biggest mistake America has ever made, because now we are here.
Like France says, if you're not a commie, you're far right, according to them, even if you're a Democrat. Well, that's the thing. They want to kill the regular Democrats. That's why I don't understand why the Democrats haven't come out and said, like, they should have told the DSA people, you're not a Democrat. You can't run in our party. Go in your own thing. They should have done that.
You saw what happened to David Pacman after he said that shit, right?
Yeah, but Like I have the next story basically because the DSA, like you remember that trip that Hassan Piker took to China? That was paid for by the Chinese Communist Party.
Yes.
These people swore allegiance to protect China.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Neville
that's
Singham,
treason.
the whole Code Pink, Neville Singham. Yes. Well, I wouldn't say it's treason. Has Hassan actually taken an oath to this country?
He isn't he a naturalized citizen or no?
I don't know if he's ever raised his hand.
That's right. He's an anchor baby.
I don't know if he's ever raised his hand and gave that oath. Other than being a child in school, which I do not say is an actual oath, I don't know if he's ever done that.
He didn't go to school here. He went to school in Turkey. He didn't come here until he didn't come here until like after high school for college.
I'm sorry, I couldn't raise the level of treason to him though, because he never gave an oath. The sedition, 100%, which is a problem for me because I'm an asshole and I'm very authoritarian when it comes to this. Because look, the bloodlust in America has gone insane. There's nothing that's going to stop any bit of this now. Our exit point was when the liberals came. I'm not going to say liberals, when the leftists came after our kids. That was the exit point. That was, you allowed that to happen and you allowed that argument to go on longer than a month. We're screwed.
Yeah. Hassan Piker went back to Turkey when he was 3 months old and didn't return until he attended college. Yeah. Like, Democrats can't win without the DSA because they took their youth vote. Yeah, well, that's too bad then. They're going to have to deal with it because it's, there's people, America's going to have to wake up. Like it's going to, if these DSA commies win in these states, that's just another step towards basically the United States fraying at the, fraying. Yeah, he's like the Chinese anchor babies. Yeah, so this is what's happening. This is what's happening, and someone's paying for this. They're doing this. These were not, like these lands are not Muslim lands, but they were conquered by Muslims. So Spain said on Friday that it reversed a huge rush of migrants into the Spanish enclave in North Africa, with thousands of people across the border by land and sea already heading back voluntarily. Moroccan forces beat back crowds with batons and tear gas at the gates to Ceuta, trying to prevent more from storming. Well, we saw the pictures of the cops just waving them in.
Mm-hmm. Nah, it ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop. Europe's fucked. Y'all are about to enter the dark ages very fucking quickly. You allowed it to happen. You thought the USA was shit, and we were so racist. We were these horrible fucking people. Then you come over here and actually see how we live, and then all of a sudden, this happens in your areas. I don't know. Are we so racist and crazy?
I don't know. So he says, I get so irritated with we Americans because we sit here and we watch things happen, and then we go, oh, something is happening. We need to fast forward and recognize it's BS. Well, I mean,
accelerationism.
I recognize it. The problem is I can't say what I want to say on here and not have my channel nuked off of YouTube. I have to kind of beat around the bush and talk like this and go, well,
How about this? This is the easiest way.
There is a thing that I would say that needs to happen more than anything. And
Pinochet,
yes. And his wonderful helicopter tours.
It sounds incredibly bad, but we are the last country that has yet to be up in arms of everything we've ever seen. I mean, you have seen treason play out on your local news. You have seen treason play out in your voting. You have seen the government take your only check away from them as far as your vote. You have seen them shut down the government, waging economic warfare on the people just to get what they want. Wasn't Russia, the Russiagate hoax, informational and psychological warfare? Haven't we seen biological warfare with Fauci? Haven't we seen legal warfare with all these judges? I mean, every bit of warfare. I'm even going to go ahead and say all the cyber attacks we've been seeing is probably our own government.
It could be. It could be people that are. It could be people in the U.S. that are trying to. We have.
Other than China cutting undersea cables. I mean, that I can say, yeah, that's happening.
I mean, we probably got 10 to 20 million people in the United States that are American citizens who hate this country. They believe in communism. They believe in all these things, and they want to basically. It's probably more. It's probably more than that. But I mean, they're willing to do stuff like these Antifa things with these attacks and the different stuff, and the Trantifa and the different groups, and then you've got the Islamists that are working with them. So I mean, it's getting, the numbers are insane.
Oh, it's getting worse. Hit my screen real quick. Check this shit out.
I think there's this idea perhaps in Democratic circles, oh, they're coming in from the outside. No. The call is coming from inside the House. It's your own voters. I mean, just take a look here. Voters identifying as Democratic Socialists. When you look at self-identified Democrats, and we're talking about voters, we're talking about 41%. 41% of self-identified Democratic voters. It's not coming from outside the tent because just 20% of Dem-leaning independents actually identify as Democratic Socialists. These are Democratic voters. These are people who voted for Kamala Harris. These are people now where we're talking about a little bit more than 2 in 5 Democratic voters who identify as Democratic Socialists.
A little than 2 in 5.
Yeah, well, the thing too is like the independents are probably people who are Democrats. They just don't want to admit they're Democrats, in my opinion, because anybody who says they're Democrat-leaning independent, what does that mean? Green Party, socialists. I mean, they're Democrats. They always vote Democrats. The problem is that like a lot of the people that were Democrats, that were like the normal, sane Democrats, left and are no longer Democrats. They voted for Trump. Like even Bill Maher is saying he's going to vote for a Republican now.
You're talking about.
Like Dave Rubin's, the fucking.
What you were talking about, though, is the talking heads. Okay, dare I say the leaders that are just now coming around and saying this is a problem. I mean, didn't you just have David Pakman, who pushed all this shit, who literally made a video about Trump pooping his pants, and then all of a sudden 3 months later this dude is saying, hey, socialism is a problem in our party. He pushed it, and now he's trying to grift away from it because he knows it's going the fuck down hard.
I think here's the thing, like according to the polls, what they say, it's like, 25 to 30% of the country is a Democrat, 25 to 30% of the country is a Republican, and then the other 45% is independents. They don't go with either party. They basically swing whichever way whatever they feel like, but if you have the Democrats going crazy, I have to think that the people these people that think they're in the middle, they have to realize there is no middle really anymore. We can't, but the problem is there's so many people
middle is far right.
Yeah, they don't even know the stuff's going on. That's the problem. Like we see it, we're into this every day. We're looking into stuff, and it's like nonstop. But I talk to people, and they claim they follow politics, and I'll talk to them, and I'm like, what about this? What about the? I don't know. What do you mean? What are you talking about? That didn't happen. It's like what?
Dude, you have no idea. You have even people in my area who are in politics don't even know half the shit I bring up is actually true. And they think I'm some kind of conspiracy theorist until I show them this, and they're just like, oh, it's a thing. Okay.
Democrats are 35% with fake mail-in ballots. So that's the thing. They're not. If you do the pollings, they're not 35%. They're not. There's more independents than there are either Republicans or Democrats. And according to what I saw, the new kids coming up, like the vast majority of the younger kids coming up, turning 18, 19, those kids are actually more right-leaning than left-leaning. That was what was scaring them. It's like this new, whatever, Gen Alpha or whatever it is, or I don't even know what they're calling them now, or Gen...
I'm sorry. Hold on. Gen Z is the one that is actually breaking. They're showing a little bit more Republican-leaning. It's Gen Alpha after that that's showing more Republican leaning than it is Democrat leaning at this point. Gen Beta or Bravo or whatever the hell you want to call these cucked up fucks, they're going to be more left-leaning. And I'm going to tell you this simply because they grow up in the last fucking decade? And what have we seen from the last decade? And then we got also new babies.
The problem is they're getting indoctrinated in the schools.
Oh, of course. But we're also getting new babies that are coming along right now into this hellhole that we have created for ourselves. How do you think they're going to lean growing up, seeing everything that we're seeing?
Crypt Keeper Carville recently said that the screeching awfuls are ruining the Democrat Party, the Demon Rat Party, well before Vance's crazy cat ladies. Yeah.
No. Hold on. James Carville actually caused this shit. He caused it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's these people that they're the problem. No, you cultivated that group.
Well, because it's all about power. They want to win no matter what. So they'll say and do whatever they have to in order to just win. Win, no matter what.
Well, it's just like David Pakman. He's been a big proponent of all this shit. Now he's just trying to grift more towards the right because he's seeing that people are actually trending that way. And if anybody platforms this motherfucker, say for about 4 or 5, I swear to God, anybody that goes after them, I'm releasing everything on them. I don't care. I will go scorched earth because you gave us Candace Owens. I'm sorry. You gave us Candace Owens, whose first foray into the public life was suing her fucking school because she broke up with her white boyfriend, who stalked and harassed and even attacked this man several fucking times. And then when his white friends started to hate her, she sued her school because it was a campaign of white hatred, racial hatred against her. Then all of a sudden she does social autopsy. She's screwed over by the fucking left. They fucking go scorched earth on her. And then all of a sudden she flips her politics because there's not a lot of black conservative women out there speaking. And then all of a sudden she's propped up and here we are.
Yeah, well, yeah, because then after that happened with when she tried suing the school and basically saying that she was a victim of white supremacy and all this stuff because her boyfriend, whatever, stalked her boyfriend who didn't like her anymore. That's when she created started that social autopsy thing. She wanted to basically destroy people's lives. That's what she wanted to do. Anybody, if she's mad at you, she wants to destroy your life. And now she's a fucking nutcase, man.
But because the left actually tore her apart. She even told you she flipped her politics overnight because there's not a lot of black Republican women. And I quote
she can get power. Yeah, she can get power. That's what she knew. She could get power and she could get propped up and she would get to, get more. It was a grift. It's always been a grift from her.
That's a problem with the Republican Party. They're willing to take anybody and everybody that says, oh, I don't like the left anymore. And then you're just welcome with open arms.
The same thing happened to Ashley St. Clair. Everybody thought she was the greatest thing. And look at her now hanging out with Hassan Piker and doing all this shit. It's like, no, it was just, whatever.
Every time. And that's the biggest problem with the Republican Party. You're so willing and so fucking wrapped up in anybody and everybody that breaks even and says anything you like to praise them and love bomb them, which is exactly what you screamed about the left doing. But you're doing it to the same people and wondering why you have a problem.
It's crazy. Like, I think, honestly, I like the Republicans are generally speaking more accepting and open than the left. Like, basically, the Democrats and the left, you have to agree with everything. If you go against any one thing, they're going to ostracize you and kick you out. Like, Republicans will be like, well, I like this guy's ideas on this economic thing, so I can deal with him being a gay man or him other things. It doesn't bother me, or whatever. Like, that's the difference. Like, in reality, they could say like the bigots are the Democrats. It's not the Republicans. It really isn't. Like, they'll accept anybody as long as you're not insane. Like, basically, if you're going to agree with me on economics, let's say, we'll accept you.
I mean, the bigots are the dude. Didn't the left just say black people are too stupid to get IDs? They don't know what a computer is?
Well, that was perfectly fine,
But the whole BLM messaging was black people are so pathetic they can't do a damn thing unless white people give them everything, and everybody went, yay! How? How am I 40 fucking years old living in a black goddamn neighborhood is sitting here saying that white people are bad because they won't give you everything?
And then we got this guy from Uganda, this Ugandan Muslim who came to the U.S. 8 years ago, became a citizen, now is the mayor of New York, saying that they're going to explore reparations for what?
I'm sorry, your reparations came from generations of motherfuckers sitting on goddamn government assistance
Or
their entire lives.
Davey, the reparations should come from the people who enslaved them, which if you go back, it might be Ugandan. So if you're from Uganda, maybe you owe them the reparations.
I mean, Kamala Harris would be screwed, right?
Well, no, they're that's the thing is they're just basically it's very upsetting because the stuff that happened to Shiloh Hendricks, you don't have to, the stuff that's happening, like it's basically we do like I used to think it was a two-tier justice system where basically it was like, oh, if you're a Democrat, you can get away with stuff. No, it's not really. It's like
if you don't believe what we believe, you're going down.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What's this? Rise of socialism in the U.S.?
Right.
People who fled socialist countries are speaking out about their
I will say this. I love how you danced around that whole point. That was great.
firsthand experiences. Their message to Americans, don't fall for it. Alexandria Hopp is in Washington with the details. Alex.
Hey, yeah, all week we've explored the rise of young voters backing socialism as a powerful bloc, really, of the Democratic Party. It's being sold to them as a community, a moral purpose, a means to solve their own financial insecurities. And while they are desperate to be part of something they consider to be a revolution, the voices we hear from today knock down that idealism back to reality, that there is nothing revolutionary about a system that has been tried and failed.
I just want to say, every time I see Mamdani with a smile on his face, does that or does that not look like the fakest fucking smile you've ever seen in your life?
It's insane. It really is.
It's almost like he's mocking you.
Its people so many times.
None of these people has spent one day in socialism or communism. None of them. So they are selling you a story that they don't even understand. It truly steals away from you your future, your right to pursue happiness, and your possibilities of conquering prosperity.
Yali Nunez fled Cuba with her family at 16 to escape the country's socialist regime. She is haunted by the memories of frequent blackouts, food shortages, and an education system that she says was used to politically indoctrinate students. We also hear today from attorney Marina Mendel, who left the USSR at 7 years old as the regime was collapsing there. She tells a familiar tale to many refugees from socialist countries. Listen.
When we came to the United States for the first time, I saw food on grocery store shelves, and it was overwhelming for us. It's a feeling we really can't describe because it's...
Anybody that knows when we did that episode with, you know, Mari and her husband, this sounds incredibly familiar. You know, he came to the United States and he was blown away. We sat there and listened to his entire story. And it sounds so damn familiar to me. Everything of what she is saying, I can guarantee you, because I've heard it from multiple people, is actually true, America. It doesn't matter how the media spins it. These people are telling you the truth.
It's like dying and going to heaven.
Marina says she now keeps photos of U.S. grocery stores in her office to remind her of the abundance that her family found once socialism was behind them.
It's crazy. It is.
But you won't listen. You won't listen.
Because it's people who think they just, like, I don't know, like something like, you know, you got this lady. She's a fucking communist Chinese fucking lady. This is who she is.
And this is what birthright citizenship brings to you. Because again, didn't China... I love this woman's face right here because she's just like, oh my fucking God. Right off the bat, look at her. But no, didn't... What was I saying? Oh yeah, didn't we have a whole thing, a whole story about the Chinese people... Chinese nationals coming over here just to create a baby to have birthright citizenship to take them back to China and raise them as Chinese with American citizenship?
Yeah, it's happening all the time.
And this is what you get.
You once tweeted about defunding the police, and tonight you were asked whether you would sign that bill to defund the police, and you said no.
If anyone's been defunding the police, it's been Robin Voss and the Republicans who have not been adequately funding shared revenue. And you have seen that local governments have had to make very difficult decisions. And I believe that as governor, that we want to make sure that we're prioritizing public safety. And
Jim,
there's been a Democrat governor of Wisconsin for the past 8 years. So how has the Republicans been defunding the police in Wisconsin?
The defund the police movement came right after BLM and the thousands of black people being killed in the streets.
Yeah.
But somehow it was a Republican call.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, but people are too goddamn stupid to remember 2 years ago. Okay, this is actually, what, 5-6 years ago at this point? But you're too stupid to understand.
I believe that those types of bills that could include more investment in the things that we know prevent crime. If you want to be tough on crime, you better be tough on the causes.
Why do you believe that the police must fully?
The causes are the fucking criminals. Criminals are the causes of crime.
The reality of this moment and in the types of public safety systems that we have, I want us to be sensible and realistic, but we know now that the billions invested in the criminal legal system is not working. We are spending
I want to know what goldfish her fucking mother mated with. All right? Because, okay, the Chinese, why is her eyes poking out of her eyelids so damn far? I want to know what goldfish her mother mated with.
It's ridiculous.
On incarcerating an individual more than tuition for UW-Madison.
Her eyelids can barely contain her eyes.
Local law enforcement.
She just said it costs more to incarcerate an individual than it does to go to college at UW-Madison. First of all, that's because of everything that they get in prison. They have prison life is not like they have air conditioning, they have food, they have everything they can need. They get books, TV, color TV, cable, tablets. I
got a better education locked up as a child than I did on the outside, brother.
It's,
okay.
Working with community that we are taking resources from the state and investing in things like public education, victim services, out of school programs for our kids to go and have a great, be able to be themselves. These are things that data and facts have shown that prevent crime. Again, if you want to be tough on crime, you better be tough on causes.
It prevents crime. How does it prevent crime when the people who commit crime don't see what they're doing
It's
bad?
weird that they're saying that our criminal justice system isn't working since for the past 10 to 15 years, if not longer. Soros DAs have been letting people out, and the Democrat judges and these people basically not prosecuting people, 56, they're just letting them back out to commit more crimes. So so the system, basically the only people that end up in prison is somebody who's on the right, who does something that it's a law that they're like, oh, no, you're a right-wing person who, did something that we don't like, or you have to murder somebody. And even then they're letting murderers out early. So that's the problem, is they're not being punished.
You can protect protect people, yourself and people around you, and you will go to prison. But you can light a woman on fire in a subway, and you will be set free. This is the America you live in.
Yeah, you can commit 50, 60 crimes and keep getting released, and then when you finally murder a woman on a train in North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever the fuck it was, that Arena Zarutska, they go, oh, well, you're crazy, so we can't send you to jail, so we're just going to put you in a mental hospital. It's like, wait, what? You should have been in a mental hospital to begin with then, if that's the problem.
No. He's black. We can't do that, right? Not until he proves he's a danger to society.
Police, but ultimately.
I believe that we have to be serious about public safety, and I'm going to be a governor that is more serious than anyone else in making sure that we are building systems of care, that we are focusing on lowering crime, getting guns off of our street, and making sure that folks who are incarcerated, which 90% of those folks will be going back to community, that we're lowering recidivism rate. And it's appalling to me that for folks who are working within our prisons, they have some of the highest suicide rates of any job and occupation. So
I wonder fucking why. I mean, somebody stabs another inmate and I can't beat his ass? Yeah, I'd just be like, God damn. I have seen men rape men. I have seen men kill men for a fucking packet of ramen noodles. And I can't do anything about it except say that's bad.
Here's the thing. So I would say that the military has a higher suicide, veterans have a higher suicide rate because of just the stuff they've been through. But
yes,
how is it because maybe these prison guards, are they former military and that's why it's bumping up the numbers? Or is it because of they're seeing things that are traumatically affecting them and they can't deal with it? And they're like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, when you walk into a cell and see a dude hanging with his own fucking entrails, I mean, it's gonna play effect on a person, And to say you can't do anything about that is simply because you are law enforcement. Yeah, I mean, I do get that. Look, cops are fucking dicks. They literally are paid to enforce the laws that they don't know the laws they're trying to enforce. But when you see shit like that on a daily basis, it changes a person. So I can't really fault police for being the assholes and dicks they are. But then again, we've constrained them to a whole point where now they can't even fire their guns without going to jail.
She's gonna win to become the Democrat nominee because the other guy, Mandela Barnes, they released. He was the guy that was the lieutenant governor under Evers. They released. They had some stuff like sexual assault stuff or other stuff that they're releasing or holding back, basically making him drop out. But I don't know. Wisconsin is like. There's enough. I think Wisconsin still has enough people that are not insane and other. I mean, Wisconsin has these two basically areas that are like the Democrat strongholds, basically Madison and then Milwaukee.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, you got like it's a huge state loaded with people who are basically like farmers and ranchers and
but then again,
people.
Then again, though. As far as it goes, look, Republicans, throughout the entire fucking 2020 riots and everything, everybody was telling you to be peaceful as they were kicking your teeth in, burning your businesses down, burning your houses down, killing you just because. And you're going to sit here and tell me that we're ready to fight what's coming? The organized effort that we have seen didn't we see at the beginning of the ICE raids that there was 10 cars that were organized to ram and attack an ICE caravan? So how did they organize so easily and so quickly if they haven't done it before?
Well, because a lot of the training was done in Cuba and information from the Chinese and the Cubans, basically how to do this stuff. I mean, this DSA and what is the other one? Party for Social, PSL, Party for Socialism and Liberation, and Revolutionary Communists of America. Like they are telling you what they want to do. You just got to listen.
Right. But here, I'm going to bring this up real quick. As of April 2026, 204.6 million Americans have registered to vote. That's more than 7 in 10 American residents who are 18 or older. All right, let's take a look with the Democrat Party. 8 states in D.C. and voter registration is above. This is... here we go. How many voters are registered Democrats? As of April 26th, the nation has around 45.4 million registered Democrats. Now, I say that, I bring it up, because let's bring it back to the no, this one isn't it. Where is it? No, it is this one. No, it is not. Where was that one I was showing before? Nope. That's Kamala. That's Kamala. That's Kamala. Ba, 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 ba. Was this it? No, that was the Kamala. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, here we go. Backtrack it.
I think there's this idea, perhaps, in Democratic circles. Oh,
no, that isn't. Where was it? But that video I showed where there was like 40% of all people that are Democrat or Democrat socialists.
I think it's this one. I think they show this. It's later on in this. He'll be playing this, and it'll come up in a few minutes. It'll say like, yeah, it said 40% of Democrats identify as Democratic socialists now,
Yeah,
and then 20% of left-leaning. They kind of so it goes 20% of left-leaning independents or Democrat-leaning independents. So it's like, what is that number? If you say you're a Democrat-leaning independent, right here, you have 41%, and then 20%. It's like, well, what is that? That's not 20% of independents. But they say this because they want to trick people to go, well, I'm an independent, but I guess people are going to. Maybe I should think about it.
20% of people like me are left-leaning socialists. That's pretty much what it's saying. But with that included, if 45.4 million registered Democrats, and you got 41 of those who say they are 41% of those who say they are Democrats, what's 41% of 45 million?
4.5 times 4, so 16, 18.
I fucking love it. You did it. You know what 10% is times? Dude. Okay. So, 20% of people like me are socialists. Okay? Yeah. Independent voters. Let's see. How many voters are registered minor parties? How many voters are registered independent? There are 39.1 million. What are 39.1 million? 20% of that.
Roughly under 8 million, 7.8 million, something like that. But that's what I'm saying is that's not the true number because they say Democrat leaning independents. 20% of them. So what is that? Is that half? A lot of people independent are like people that are like libertarians. They're like, no, fuck that. I hate Democrats. I hate Republicans. I'm an anarchist, an actual anarchist, like Michael Malice anarchist type of guy.
Right.
Where, like, I don't think the government should be telling anybody what to do, and I don't, whatever it should be designed. But so those are independents.
That's the variable in this whole equation.
Bullshit because there are more independents than there are Democrats.
That's the variable in this whole equation. How many independents are left-leaning? And what do you mean by left-leaning? That's the whole damn variable.
Are they qualifying like, to me, if you're not a Democrat or Republican, you're an independent. I don't care if you're in some third party or you're still a Democrat. Like if you're a Green Party person, you're a fucking Democrat. You're just a crazy leftist Democrat because they still always vote for the fucking Democrats.
Fair enough at this point, yes. I mean, who was that dude that they put up for the independent? I forget his name, but he was crazy as shit.
Well, look at what who was the Libertarians ran a fucking candidate that was fucking for the lockdowns and the mandatory vaxes. The chick, what the fuck was her name? I was like,
Joe Jorgensen.
Yeah, Joe Jorgensen. Like, fuck you. You're not a libertarian. You're a fucking Democrat. Get the fuck out of the Libertarian Party. That's why I was like, I was gonna change my party affiliation to Libertarian. Because I supported Ron Paul. I voted for Ron Paul. I wanted Ron Paul to be president. Like, I'm smart enough to know that you can't just, like, there's no way a libertarian candidate is going to be able to win the presidency. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. The libertarians, and I would champion telling people, we need libertarians to come into the Republican Party and run and win. And just not, you know what I mean? Just like, well, look at Massey. Massey is a libertarian. I disagree on Massey because I think he's lost his mind a little bit. He's more aligning with Democrats than he does with Republicans. Like, he's voting with people and voting for shit that, like, I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
You know why, right?
Because he's mad.
He's mad because the party that propped him up, again, the same shit you see on the left, the party that propped him up, he said one thing out of line, and you went scorched earth. And now what do you see? He ain't getting any play from the Republican Party. So where does he go to get attention? Well, he goes to the Democrats. He parties up with Ro Khanna. Now, I'm going to be honest. Ro Khanna, he's a fucked up individual, but he's the least damaging, one of the least damaging the Democrat Party has in office right now.
He just hasn't had the opportunity to do it. The Democrats don't let their lower level people do anything. They keep them, and
it's the same thing as Marjorie Taylor Greene, except he got back into office.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene could have done. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I have a feeling, honestly, that I think Marjorie Taylor Greene was always a leftist, and I'm going to tell you why. The way she palled up with the fucking people from Code Pink, she always had connections with them. That didn't just come about all of a sudden.
Fair enough. Hey, check this out. I've been holding it for a minute. I gotta pee. Give me a second.
No problem. Hey, so let's see. I'll look at the chat here. Saw it in real life. They merged with Antifa and Occupy Wall Street. The next thing, dudes in dresses. Yeah, the commies infiltrated the libertarians in about 2014. Yeah, it got crazy. I think most independents are former Republicans like me. Yeah, just because you're sick. Like I hate the Republican establishment. I really do. I can't stand them. I would never, ever, ever in a million years ever give any money to the RNC. I won't donate through Win Red. I'll donate specifically to certain candidates that I like, if I like the candidate, but that's it. The Democrats that run where I vote are completely unhinged. It's not even an option. Good. That's how they are everywhere, though. I've been voting for myself since 2012 as an independent. Oh, there you go. Also, like Kent, hooked up with a new far-left piece of ass. Yeah, it makes you wonder, though. In the Ron Paul days before about 2014, was all 2A guys with Gadsden flags. Yeah, that was the whole thing. That's where it was like really. Fuck off with the Massey principal fiscal conservative BS. He voted for Biden's budget and unlimited debt, total fraud. That's what I'm saying. Like Massey did a lot of things where it's like, dude, you could have got things you wanted. You could have done things. But when they need your vote, when your vote is like this, we need your vote to pass this. This is do or die legislation, and you fuck over the party like that, they're gonna do stuff to you. And the Democrats never do pull that shit. When the Democrats need their people, all of the crazies get in line. All of them. The only person that has bucked them at all is Fetterman. And I think Fetterman is probably on his way out. Like he's either going to not run for re-election, or if he does, they're going to try to primary him.
I mean, there are several people in the House, in the Democrat Party, who has bucked on major things.
Not when it counted, though.
You're right, and they're unknown. The biggest one that actually bucks the party is Correa, and nobody knows who that man is. He was the only one to stand up and say, "Hey, at this Butler situation, I was talking to the police, and there's more to this situation than we know. We need to look deeper." And then everybody shut the fuck up after that. He was the only one to buck at that point.
He sounds good, but he still votes with them. Well, I don't know. Yeah, MTG is a whore. So, yeah, lefty. Well, I don't judge it. Honestly, none of that shit. That stuff doesn't. I don't give a fuck about what people do. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care what people do,
dude.
I'm gonna personal lives. I really don't.
I'm gonna be completely. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and there's several people I'm gonna bring up in this whole situation to prove it. You know the biggest problem with Marjorie Taylor Greene is she came out swinging like a fucking man. She came out gangbuster, and everybody was like, hell yeah, and then she just took it a little too far with the whole Jasmine Crockett back and forth, and then everybody's like, you kind of look like a crying little bitch at this point. And then everybody
Republicans
turned
need
them.
to stop being pussies, all right? Because if you remember, this is the problem. They, like the shit happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene where they let them remove her from committees because of something she said 2 years before she was elected. It was like an offhanded comment about Jewish space lasers or something, which it's a joke, man. It's not for real. Nobody thinks that. I mean, I hope not.
Hold on. The Jewish space laser thing she was talking about is Project Iron Beam that they're actually using in Israel right now.
Okay. I don't know. Anyway, but what I'm saying, though, is like it's sort of like manipulating the weather, whatever type of thing. But when it comes to the Democrats, they had motherfucker, what was his name? The guy, like Tony Gonzalez, the Republican, like they booted his ass to the side super quick because
George Santos.
George Santos was not convicted. That is the first time in history There is, like, the Democrats were refusing to get rid of the broad in Florida that got fucking convicted of stealing $5 million from the fucking FEMA fund to use to run for Congress.
What about Bob Menendez? They didn't kick him out of Congress until he was found guilty. But George Santos, you're guilty immediately just because.
Remember Trafficante from fucking Ohio? The guy with the crazy hairdo, you know, the crazy hairpiece? That guy was indicted and convicted, and they still didn't kick him out.
But yet, hey, George Santos, hey, you're a gay dude. You use campaign funds for OnlyFans. Get the fuck out.
Well, he said, well, it was like, oh.
I mean, there was worse than that.
He said he was Jewish. And he's like, you know, like, no, I didn't say I'm Jewish. I said I'm Jewish, you know.
Right.
And like, he's like, and
but Kamala Harris can say she's black, and that's okay.
Yeah. Look at this. I got my first. Oh no, this is my second donation of the evening. Thank you so much for the $4.40. I don't know what Unk Alert is. Does that mean I'm an uncle?
Unk Alert. Usually that's a bad sign. It's just like.
But thank you so much. That means we are now $71.60 away.
I'm probably the Unk
70.
Alert.
70-60. My math skills are off.
But as far as it goes, really, with everything that we've seen, I do not understand how, even in a time where just, okay, look, you have to understand, you're older than me. Jim, when were you born?
I don't give that information out.
Okay, so I guarantee you, you're not a millennial.
In the 70s. What?
Okay, so you're not a millennial.
No, I'm a Gen Xer.
Okay, so half of my party blames you for everything that we came into, whereas 2/3, I'm sorry, 2/3 of Gen Z blames millennials for the shit that we gave them. And this has been going on for generations. It is literally, okay, the heyday in America was actually mid to late 90s.
Yeah. No,
nobody cared about a damn thing.
Like, I hate to break it to everybody. This is the thing. Go listen to Ross Perot, okay, in 92, when the 92 presidential election, when Ross Perot was talking about NAFTA and said, you're going to hear this giant sucking sound in the U.S. of all the jobs leaving the U.S. and going to Mexico. That happened. That he was correct. The problem was Ross Perot did not have enough. Ross Perot couldn't win. He did not win a single state. He did not get a single fucking electoral vote. But he took enough Republican votes away from George H.W. Bush that Clinton won. Clinton won in 92 with 38% of the vote.
He was the spoiled candidate.
He was a spoiler candidate, but like it's shocking when you look at like how popular George H.W. Bush was. I'm not saying he was a great president or anything. He lied. He got played. He said no new taxes. Read my lips. No new taxes. And then the Democrats basically, because the people forget that until 1994, the Democrats controlled the House of Representatives since 1952 to 1994. The Republicans did not control the House of Representatives for over 40 years. So you had to go along with Democrats. So the Democrats pushed this thing, made a deal with Bush for a tax hike or whatever you want to call it, and that fucked him.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but then again, it's always.
I don't even think that really was that big of a deal. In all honesty, I don't think that was that big of a deal because Clinton came in and immediately they raised taxes anyway. Once Clinton came in, the first year of Clinton's term, they raised taxes. So it wasn't the taxes thing why people were. It was the fact that there was this other candidate who was right. Like if George W. Bush wasn't running for president, if it was Ross Perot running for his Republican Party, he would have ran away with the fucking thing. He was correct.
I don't know about running away with the fucking thing because
you're right.
Jim Mears held his ass back.
He was Trump. Perot was Trump before Trump. You know what I mean? Like he was the first Trump-style candidate who never ran for anything, was never elected to any office. He was a billionaire who ran businesses.
The motherfucker looked like a Ferengi, though. I mean, what did JFK and Nixon prove? Looks matter.
Yeah.
He looked like a Ferengi, and everybody's like, dude. I mean, what knocked Howard Dean out of the position? Wasn't it this?
Yo!
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Yeah,
Is
people
that
said, oh,
knocked
he's
him
nuts. Because they're like, oh, he's fucking nuts. He's a nut job.
You know, looking back on it, I was young as shit at that time, but maybe we might have been better under Perot.
It said 440 is what it said, 440 joules. I don't know. Well, we would have been better without NAFTA. All right.
NAFTA, oh yeah, NAFTA.
Us.
Another afternoon fucking that ass. Yes.
You know, yeah, but we were like, all right, we were losing manufacturing going back to the 70s and 80s. Not a lot, but we were losing manufacturing. You know, Japan was coming up. It was the whole thing, like with Japanese cars and stuff like that, where you know, but it wasn't that bad. You know, like we were still had huge manufacturing plants. NAFTA is what caused all those auto plants. Basically, you can look at it. All the auto plants that were in Detroit, all the auto plants that were all other places started to move to Mexico. It was only when later presidents came in, I think it was Bush and stuff, when they started going, hey, you gotta start building this stuff here. So they started bringing plants back to Tennessee and Kentucky and other places to get around the unions and to do it. But like, there should have been a way that we could have kept a lot of manufacturing in the U.S. and make it, if you're like Henry Ford knew what he was talking about when he said, if I pay a person a wage that enough that they can actually buy the cars that I'm building, I have a good business.
Yeah,
but if somebody like if
your employees are buying your shit, yes.
But I mean, that's the problem. Like, if you look at all these jobs, like a lot of these jobs, the vast majority of the jobs that most kids have today that are, unless you, it's like a career, like anywhere working at any, like a 7-Eleven, a McDonald's, a gas station, a Walmart, you know, retail, any retail business, they can't afford to live off of the stuff they're selling.
At this point in time, no.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like 30 years ago, say in the 80s and 90s, if you were not just a part-time person at McDonald's, but you were a manager or assistant manager at McDonald's, you could fucking eat McDonald's every day of the week and afford to live on it and still do other stuff. But
well, I mean,
not now.
You take a look at the lumber industry. We cut down a tree, we ship it to another country to be cut down. We ship it to another country to be treated. We ship it to another country to be processed, and then we ship it back to us to build our houses. Instead of doing that here, like in every bit of it, like we used to do, we used the entire globe and literally put 2-3 months hold on everything that we were doing just to give an economic boost to every other country but us. I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, but yeah, you know, it's sad. It really is, because like, I mean, all like people, here's the thing. People used to be able to have a job at a grocery store or a department store as a cashier or, you know, a salesperson, and they could live on that. It was a living wage.
It wasn't comfortable, but it was living.
If you couldn't buy like a big house or anything like that, but you could save money and eventually buy a house. You could save money and work. If you know.
But then again, being a fry cook was not supposed to be your end all.
No, I'm not talking about a fry cook. I'm talking about there was actual jobs. Like you were a sales associate at a fucking department store. Like the people that worked at the counter selling perfume. These people all got paid, like they had a wage, but then they got a cut of everything they sold. That's gone now. None of those stores exist anymore, really. That if like Circuit City was the last electronics store I knew about where the people work, you know, they got paid a salary, but they also got a commission on everything they sold. Wasn't a lot, but it was a commission, like 1 or 2% or something like that. But then you could negotiate with them and be like, hey, you want to get the sale? Can you bring the price down a little? And they could wiggle stuff and get you a deal because they're still going to get their commission and figure out a way around it, you know?
Mm-hmm. We need to go back to that.
Yeah, grocery cashier was a full-time job at one time. Yeah, grocery cashier at like some of these, like in Chicago at a Jewel's or a Dominic's or these other places, there was women, that was a full-time job for them, and they lived off of that. They were, you know, single women, whatever. They were in their 50s or whatever. They were a cashier. They didn't have any kids, and they would be able to live and have an apartment and pay their rent and eat and have their car and have everything they needed and get their cat food and shit. Now you get a job as a cashier at a store or McDonald's or anything like that. You make $15-18 an hour. A fucking Big Mac meal costs $12.
Yes. when you raise the minimum wage, you make that minimum poverty level. So when you're talking about raising the minimum wage to $15-20 an hour, you're making $15-20 an hour poverty level, and the inflation that we've seen has become permanent. Nobody understands that.
Well, no, it's not. That's the thing. The inflation's not going away. The only way it's going to go away is like things. There's going to have to be a massive reset. Like housing prices are going to have to take a huge shit, like worse than 2008, and would maybe correct some things, because that would maybe read, like, whoa, like, I don't know though. Honestly, I don't know, because everything is interlinked, and like, oh, the farmer's got to make this much money to sell the, just look at like potatoes. You got to grow these potatoes. You got to ship them here. You got the gas to get them there. And even though
now you're hitting it. Now you're hitting it.
And this maybe I'm wrong, but years ago, the reason that it was so cheap for farmers to grow things, I shouldn't say cheap, but it didn't cost them this huge amount of money to actually harvest, is because they had people doing it. It wasn't like they weren't spending $1 million on this piece of equipment because it's just 2 people. They had 50 people that they were paying a wage, but it still didn't equal out to this investment. Like, farmers spend so much money now on these huge tractors and shit. You're talking about equipment that's millions of dollars. It's like they got to recoup the money somewhere.
Yes. Instead of having 20 people work a fucking field, you had one tractor that outcost more than what it would be for 20 people in a field. But because you could do it faster, it was okay.
Thank you, Kofi, for the 10 joules. That's 10 cents. I can't really, well, I guess I could credit that. Okay, I'll drop it to 70.50. How's that? 10 cents. There you go. Thank you. I guess the joules are a penny each, so that's what I was told anyway. So cashiers union was broken in the 70s. They were all full-time, and the national union made them go part-time.
But I will say this, though. Ladies and gentlemen, we ain't done with this bitch.
We need to revisit the Electoral College.
Oh. Why?
We need to revisit the point of expanding the court to 13 justices, like we have 13 district courts.
Okay, Trump, right now, there you go. Trump, point 4 new justices, Trump. It's only good if you guys are in power. Oh, I get it. It's only if they can pick them.
Hold on. Jim.
What?
The Democrats are saying expand the court.
So why
Republicans are saying we have enough as it is already.
So
Republicans are not on board with, hey, let's go ahead and pack the court so we can shove, 10, 11, 12, 13, four more motherfuckers in right now? Nope. Because we don't want to end the filibuster, even though we know they're going to fucking do it. We don't want to end the filibuster because it helps us now.
First of all, the filibuster thing is completely distorted, right now, because that's not the way it was. That is not the way the filibuster was for forever. Like going back to the 60s, like in the 60s, that's how the Civil Rights Act got passed, was because they did the speaking filibuster, where you had to sit there and speak. And everybody only got to speak once. That was it. It went around. And once you were done speaking, once everyone got to talk and they shut up, and they couldn't speak anymore, that was it. Yeah. And then it got voted on. So you could sit there. That was the thing. Why it was this filibuster, where I talked for 36 hours. Well, if you wanted to go, you had to do that. And once you stopped speaking, you couldn't speak again. And the next guy had to be there to speak if you wanted to keep it from happening.
I mean, what was it? Cory Booker spoke for like 26 fucking hours.
Yeah, for no reason. It didn't mean anything.
No, because I mean, if you had somebody else stand up there and speak for 26 fucking hours, maybe you could have done something. But at the zombie filibuster, we don't have to speak. We're just going to say we object. That was the biggest mistake we made. Well, I'm not going to say the biggest.
I didn't see it came in, Ag. I'm sorry. That was shit, man. That was over a half hour ago. I didn't see it come in. I apologize. Thank you so much, Ag, for the 10 on Cash App. That means we're now $60.50 away
What up, Lion? Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to chat. I've been enjoying this. This is Scrappy. How y'all doing? But yeah, we're
Congress
not
could be
done.
less retarded and knock it back to 9 districts. Like, here's the thing. DC shouldn't have its own circuit.
No.
There's absolutely no reason for DC to have its own circuit.
Well,
like this whole
hold
thing
on.
about they're talking about making DC a state. Like DC, like
Oh, that's coming up.
but they can't. They would have to actually change the Constitution, which I don't know that you can do it with an amendment because it's like not an amendment to the Constitution. It's in the Constitution.
It is
You know what I mean?
the whole point of the Constitution. That
It's
10
saying
square
DC
miles
has-
is supposed
yeah.
to be separate from everything else in this country. You're not even supposed to have a citizen living in that 10 square miles.
They're not supposed to have any government whatsoever. It says they're not part of any government. But yet they established like the Home Rule Act in the 70s all of a sudden because Congress didn't want to have to deal with it and because if Congress was the one, like really was the ones having to deal with it. They're like, we don't want to have to deal with this. We're just going to pass it off. And so which I think is unconstitutional. Like, I don't know, somebody should sue and be like, the Home Rule Act is unconstitutional. There shouldn't be this attorney. There shouldn't be a mayor. There shouldn't be a separate police force. This is all federal land. It's all federal land.
You know why it ain't going to happen? Because you're going to have to kick millions of motherfuckers out of their home.
No, you wouldn't have to, but they would still be living on federal land, just like living on a reservation, just like living on anything else, but it's different because it's special. Technically, there wasn't supposed to be anybody living there when it was established. It was supposed to be strictly for government offices and government parks and stuff like that. It wasn't supposed to be like housing. But basically what happened is certain people brought a bunch of people in there to live there to be their slaves, or whatever you want to call it. And that's what happened. You know?
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. 10 gifted membership.
There you go. Look at that.
Wow, that means we are now just 50 cents away, folks. Just 50 cents away from adding a first additional hour, which
Let's go.
that's
Make us
crazy.
work tonight.
Yes. Let's see who got those memberships. Thank you, Charles. You brought 10 people into being a Jimsomniac. Julius Vissi, Sugar Cookie, Subdivisions. Oh, my buddy Subdivisions. How you doing, Chris? Miss Vicky May, Saint Two Guns, Charlie Duck, T. Swain, Pell L, Angela Loyola, and Michael Mason, 62, all became members of the Jimsomniacs. Is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. That means, we're so close. Thank you, Charles. Make DC square again. Yes. Any amendment can alter the Constitution. That's what a living document means. Otherwise, it would be fossilized. Well, no, but I think you would actually have to change, like it's directly tied into the it's directly tied into the establishment, of the Constitution. It's like the Senate, like talking about abolishing the Senate. Like that's fucking literally Article 1 of the Constitution.
You have to understand, it's just like treason is written into the Constitution. That cannot be amended unless the 2/3 of the state say, hey, it's only in times for kinetic warfare. That levies war against means the government must shoot you. Wait a minute. Did they amend the Constitution to say that?
No.
So if all laws that are repugnant to the Constitution should not be respected in any way, doesn't levying war against the citizens of the United States include everything as well as kinetic?
Should.
But yet, oh, it's only in wartime. Aren't we at war since goddamn World War II? Oh, I'm
We've
sorry.
been at war.
The Senate didn't vote on that?
We've been at war. Like, that's the thing. What is a war? Like, only the Congress can declare war, but we could be in a state of war. Here, remember, here's a question. Remember when
we're in a state of war right now. They're calling it the Iran war. Oh, we're not at war. It's a military police action.
Remember when prior to them declaring war on Japan, when FDR went to the Congress and said, since this happened when Japan attacked us, we've been in a state of war with Japan. So clearly you could be in a state of war without Congress declaring it.
I mean, warfare is warfare. That's why they said levying war against instead of picking up arms against, which is written in every other fucking thing, especially sedition, but it's not written in treason because they experienced psychological warfare. They experienced informational warfare. They experienced economic warfare. They knew what warfare was. And that's why it is not constrained, because even voting to shut down the government because you want to give illegals health care is economic warfare on the people, because those that are reliant on the government pay because they want something. And nobody picks up on that, because we have been conditioned to think treason is warfare, kinetic warfare only, and it is not.
Yeah, 1956. Also, it's in laws. They've declared war on drugs. They've declared war on many things. It's a war on drugs. They declared it. It's a war on drugs. When they established the DEA and all that stuff, they passed a law declaring a war on drugs. So technically, we've been in a war with drugs this whole time.
I mean, you also got to think back. Think of the Russiagate hoax and everything like that. Is that not informational and psychological warfare levied on the people to make people vote who Obama wanted instead of who you wanted? Because if you make people think that something isn't fucking true, you use psychological and informational warfare to make people think the spies who lied, 51 spies who lied. Oh, these motherfuckers are in position of authority. They signed a paper saying this actually happened, and it turned out that was actually false.
This is supposed to be a black woman. She looks legitimately like one of those alien races. Like her face is like a yellowish green, and I don't know if it's because of the background is green, but in her clothes,
It's
she
the
does
lighting
not look,
as well. No,
I know she does not look. She looks like I'm trying to. It's a movie where it's like a space alien with this weird colored skin, almost like what is it? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. She looks like one of those aliens from Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Krees.
Yeah.
Yeah. But literally, like when your skin color blends into your suit, you got a problem.
Yeah. What else?
Revisit, if they so want, statehood for Puerto Rico and D.C.
DC is 100% unconstitutional. The reason why DC was separated, so it could be separated from everything, any kind of influence. So if you make DC a state, you have literally gone against the Constitution of the United States of America.
Yes.
If we regain control of the Senate, I served on this committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, when I was in the Senate. Only the second black woman elected to the United States Senate after Carol Moseley Braun.
Oh, when was Carol Moseley Braun elected to the Senate? She was from Chicago. Wasn't that in the 80s? So you're acting like there was this whole race problem. We elected,
I mean, didn't we bring crack to the black community in the 80s?
Judiciary Committee has the power to create rules for its committee that don't have to go to the whole Senate for a vote and worry about filibuster and all of it. We need to.
But yeah.
What does she mean? What is she trying to say? We could create our own rules for the Judiciary Committee. Well, yeah, it still has to be passed. You can't just pass a law in the Judiciary Committee. You still have to pass. It has to go. You can make a rule for the Judiciary Committee, but that doesn't make it a fucking law. You're a lawyer. You were the Attorney General of California, and you don't know this shit?
The rules of every committee, every Congress are created and passed by the majority. So what she's saying is these rules that we want to put up, as soon as we take this shit back, it needs to be put in place so that way, no matter what they do, even if we don't have control, you still have to play by our rules.
But they could just change the rules then. Look at this.
But you'd have to win back the Senate and the House and everything like that to change the rules. So if Senate, you can't win them.
I don't know. She's claiming, according to her, that the Senate, they could just change the rules with the majority in the Senate. Like, I know, they can pick, like, it doesn't matter how many senators. If you've got the power in the Senate, you can put you can off balance the committees as much as you want. Like, they could have, you can have 51 senators and you can have the committees be 12 to 10 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, see, here's the thing. And take it into this, okay? So, okay, they create their own rules. We got it. So if we're allowed to cheat, if the illegals can vote, if these Kirby signs in fucking California are okay and we let that pass, how the fuck can you win?
They can't.
So rules are always set by Democrats who are able to fucking cheat and able to do the mail-in ballots, everything. They create these, they go to the homeless and sign these pieces of paper. How the fuck do you expect to win if you're not going to do the same shit? So you can't create the rules. So if they take it back, they set the rules. They own the fucking party. They own the elections. They own everything about it. How do you gain power back without picking up arms?
You don't. You don't.
That's the point. But check this out. Kamala Harris talks about how important the truth, how important telling the truth is after hiding 4 years of Biden's mental decline.
There is the quality that is everything that flows from the concept of integrity, which includes speaking the truth and being honest with the people. And, you know, and sometimes that will result in being unpopular. But in my experience in elected office, it is better to weather those moments when you are unpopular than it is to lose the respect and trust of the people.
So tell me something, bitch. When you were the second fucking person in line for every bit of this country, why the fuck did you bend over and take it in the ass to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden? Because I believe that's who actually ran this fucking country.
I don't know if she did or did. I just want to announce.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
And with that, folks, thank you so much. Number 719-989. I know your name, but I don't remember it. I've been on before. I don't know why it changed, but thank you for the 440 joules. That means we are now $96 away from adding a second additional hour, and I have a rant. Let's see, somewhere. Let's see, rant. $1 from DuckFed. Here you go. I splurged. It's been 100% more than you needed. Well, thank you.
Oh, damn.
Thank you, DuckFed. Thank you. So great of you. But now we're just 95 away. Now we're just 95 away. I didn't see that before.
Well, thank you for that 100% shit.
100% increase. Thank you. So now we're 95 away. Thank you. So I did want to get to this, though. Members of the DSA have pledged to support and defend China. Yes.
I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? With the influence that we've seen, China's not the problem. China's not the problem. Everything's been jumped into China. We literally boosted China's economy our fucking selves. And hold up, China's not the problem, even though wasn't it Hillary Clinton who said, hey, if the Russians are going to help the Republicans, why can't China help the Democrats?
Oh, yeah, she said that, hey, China, get the tax returns, and then all of a sudden that guy had Trump's tax returns and got him out there. It's kind of, But they wanted Trump charged for asking Russia, when Russia said, like, hey, I should just release these. But so why wouldn't Hillary then be charged for the same thing? Right?
I got to be right back.
No problem. So members of the Democratic Socialists of America have apparently pledged to support and defend the People's Republic of China. It's no surprise that they admire a communist country, but taking a pledge like this is more than a little suspect. While America tries to maintain friendly ties with China, it's no secret that one of our main geopolitical foes, if not the ultimate one. At what point have these folks crossed a line into treason? It's definitely sedition, I think. About a dozen Democratic Socialist activists have publicly pledged to support and defend China amid an apparent push by the communist nation to court members of New York City's Kuomintang's party. Friends of Socialist China, a London-based group, touts 952 signatories on its pledge to support the People's Republics of China. So 11 self-described DSA or DSA International Committee members are among those that resolve to support, defend, and build understanding of Chinese socialism. Yes, libtards are America-hating Marxists. They are. The pledge argues that the global advance to socialism is indispensable if humanity is to survive and flourish, while decrying capitalism as totally incapable of solving the problems of poverty and inequality. Like capitalism has pulled more people out of poverty and saved more starving people than anything else. If it wasn't for the United States and their goodwill, there would be tons of people starving in Africa. Like, what does China ever do for the starving people of Africa? Nothing. China comes in and says, oh, we'll build you this road and now you got to pay us and we're going to take your stuff. We just give people food all the time. Like, it's ridiculous.
Oh, you're talking about the Belt and Road Initiative?
Well, yeah, because they're saying, like, basically these people are arguing that, oh, that communism is the only way to help people flourish and survive. That capitalism is incapable of solving the problems of poverty and inequality. It's like, first of all, if the only way everyone is equal, that's called communism. And everybody's equally miserable in communism.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that the country that welded their people in their home is what you want to model? Okay.
That's what it is. They support all states building and aspiring to socialism. Well, here's the problem: is that it's in the Constitution that all states are required to be have a Republican form of government, which that's the opposite of socialism and communism. That means people in the minority get, that's the whole reason why we can't just, ignore these crazy leftists, because they do get representation, but they want to take all representation away from everybody else. So at some point, you're going to have to say that it's not a suicide pact, and you're going to have to start getting rid of people.
Right.
I mean, legally getting rid of them, like sending them somewhere else. I'm not talking about like, you know what I'm talking about.
100%. I know what you're talking about.
So,
because I'm just saying that for the 2% of the population that causes 70% of the problem.
Well, there you go. It'd be great if we could just get rid of them. What does
and that
Islam...
becomes the stupidest from the top down, like the stupidest percent of the entire. I'm not talking about just this country. The stupidest percent of the entire population of humankind causes more than 70% of all problems across the world.
And so they're saying that they focus on China particularly because its size and level of development given an objectively critical role in the global transition to socialism. Do they not realize, these people not realize, that if the U.S., if Nixon did not open China to the West, China would be still these people, like they were fucking living in huts and like all like rice farmers, and they had nothing.
Dude, if it wasn't for NAFTA, they would not have been expected to take us over economically in 2030. It's been pushed back because of all this now. Yeah. Earliest is 2037. The latest is 2045. We've really hurt them.
Yeah, no, I'm beginning to think the DSA might be a problem, just a little. Yeah. Like personally, I would have zero problem with them just arresting all these people and putting them in Gitmo.
Clinton let it in. Hillary Clinton let it in. Hey, China, help us out. And now you see what happened.
Yeah, so ineligible for public office, and if naturalized, denaturalized, and deport. Yeah, these people should all be, any of these that are naturalized citizens that are members of this organization should immediately be denaturalized and deported.
I mean, we still have laws on the books that say communists don't have rights in America.
Yeah. So these people are the enemies of America. I agree. It really does look like these people are enemies of America. Why aren't they treated that way? That's a good question. What should the response be? Well, it should be swift and permanent. But,
I will say this. That there is a point to everybody's like, oh, authoritarianism is so bad. It is so bad. It's authoritarianism is actually what keeps society in check.
If there's no authority, then there's nothing keeping people from just going running wild. I mean, that's the whole thing about the cops. Like, the cops are a necessary evil. All right. Like, we need to have the cops so that they can basically keep order. Otherwise, it would have, like, if somebody stole something from me, I would be out there like they used to do in, the Wild West, in the 1800s, early 1800s, where somebody steals something, you go catch them and you get a rope and you take care of it. That's how it was handled before there was police forces that were actually taking care of it. You call them up to investigate, go get the guy. You know what I mean? Like it was handled that way. Like without them, that's what would be happening all the time. Like, oh, somebody did this. Somebody stole this from me. You know, like shoplifters. Like, do you want shoplifters when they get caught shoplifting in a store? Do you want them to just get their hands chopped off by the shop owner, like happens in other parts of the world, because they don't have police forces that'll actually do the job?
I mean, let's just be honest, though. Our police force, who are paid to uphold our laws, don't know the laws that they're supposed to uphold.
And no, and that's the thing too. Like when I see these cops doing these things, violating people's First Amendment rights, violating people's Second Amendment rights, violating people's rights, I'm like, no, that cop should be punished. This shouldn't happen. Like if you can't do the job correctly and you fuck up, then you need to pay the price, just like anybody else would.
Yeah, I'm not saying that all law enforcement needs to be lawyers, like they need to go through law school, they need to pass a bar. I'm not saying that. But they need to understand that, hey, if I'm going to ticket this dude, then everything must be in place for this to be enforced. So if, for my example, if I'm doing 50 in a so-called school zone, just like everybody else who was doing 50 at that time because they were in that school zone when it became active, if I'm doing 50 in a school zone that is marked for 35, doesn't that mean I'm going to run into somebody during traffic?
You would think.
Right? Okay. So here's what actually got me out of that. In the state of Alabama, doing 50 in a school zone, it's a big offense, right? Double points, double everything, right? The only thing that they had to prove that it was a school zone was a school was there, that there were lights to say school zone flashing. That's it. It didn't tell me the speed limit. It didn't tell me the time frames when it is enforced. It didn't tell me everything between Alabama's code. And I walked in there talking to the DA of my town. I walked in there and said, per standards, you must have this. You must have this. I showed everything, every single sign in that area. The motherfucker looked at me and said, oh, normally outside of a school zone, the speed limit is 50. I didn't know that. The DA of my fucking town doesn't even know the speed limit outside, literally less than a quarter mile. He didn't know the speed limit less than a quarter mile away from the courthouse. Do we need to have this be the judge of who is competent enough to go to jail or not? I'm sorry, when I can look at you and say you were out of compliance and there ain't no way you can hold me to account. Oh, you recognize there's a school there, right? I recognize there's a school there, but I do not recognize a legal fucking school zone because you don't even have half of what is required. Oh, well, I need to tell the town about that. Shouldn't you fucking know from the beginning?
Yeah. North American Free Trade Agreement was between Canada, Mexico, and the USA. It had nothing to do with China. Yeah, but there was established, I believe in that law, there was established parts where they were gave Clinton the ability to name China the most favored nation status, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
Like he could, like there was the trade agreement, NAFTA was about that, but they named China as the most favored nation. So basically, like no tariffs on China, no tariffs on China coming in, even though China had a bunch of tariffs on us for our stuff going into China. They wouldn't, like basically, like even the food that we were sending to China that they needed so their people wouldn't fucking starve. They were putting tariffs on the food that they needed, all our soybeans and other items that they needed so that their people didn't fucking starve to death. Because even though they were a complete agriculture country that survived for millennia with people farming and making enough food for them, all of a sudden when the communists took over, they didn't have enough food for everybody because they destroyed the farms and took the farms away from the people that knew how to farm and basically took people that didn't know how to farm and made them, oh, you got to learn how to farm. And so And then they did something like they killed all the sparrows or something. And then the sparrows were the ones that were eating the bugs that China had nothing to do with China. No, I know NAFTA did not have anything to do with China, but it established the protocols to declare. There was other language in there to establish the protocols for the president to declare most favored or favored nation status or most favored nation status or something like that. Like there was other parts of it.
Think of it this way. We create the Save the Puppies Act. And in the Save the Puppies Act, it says that every single one of you must house an illegal immigrant. That's what it was. Because there was a wording that wasn't set in stone because of a little bit of a loophole. Clinton was able to say, let's give everything to China, even though it had nothing to do with China.
And then also, like you talk about loopholes, it's the same thing. It was years later. It wasn't immediately. It was years later, but it did happen. I think that was like 96, 97. But anyway, point being, like, it's the same thing that happened in New York with the taxes where they said, we're going to pass this bill. And then any second home that's valued over 5 million, we're going to pass this tear tax on it. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, no, there was other language in there that said that we could do some things. So now it's any house. So it went from 30,000 houses to now it's 980,000 houses. I showed Joe last night. They published a list. His dad's house and his brother's house are on the fucking list.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of that, you know, basically it's like anything over $1 million, which anybody who knows anything about New York real estate, there isn't a house in New York City that isn't worth over $1 million.
And isn't Mom Donnie targeting for property taxes for anything over $1 million?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. They changed it from 5 million to $1 million without anybody knowing about it. So, like, these people don't realize they're taxing, like, basically, like, oh, we're only going to take this tax the first year or two. We're not going to we're just going to do this like a bullshit. It's just like the fucking income tax was passed on it was supposed to be a millionaires only. People that were millionaires only. It immediately went to everyone.
Oh, no. Because he couldn't pass that. He couldn't do that. Everybody was leaving. Then he said, hey, Kathy Hochul, give me money. And she's like, fine, give me money. I balanced the budget. I'm going to do good. Let's go ahead and give 30% off all fucking basic goods in grocery stores.
That's never
subsidizing the fuck out of that.
Yeah, that's never going to work. They're going to be stealing everything. It's going to be a joke. It's going to be funny to watch. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to check IDs if someone from New Jersey or if someone from a neighboring state wants to come in and shop there? They're going to say, no, you can't shop here because it's what are they going to do? Check IDs? What? I don't have an ID.
IDs are racist. We can't do that.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, and this something like this should this might make you mad, but this should actually make you feel a little bit good because they wouldn't be doing shit like this if they were confident they were going to win. All right. This right here, this story, Abigail Spermberger, whatever her name is, says it's a shameful relic of our Jim Crow past as she restores the voting rights for 66,000 felons before the midterm so they can vote. Like, she thinks these 66,000 people are going to vote Democrat, so she restored their right to vote. Like, if they didn't need these 66,000, she's not. Well, they plan on stealing those ballots more than likely because most of these people don't give a fuck to vote. They don't care. They haven't been paying attention. They don't give a shit. Sperm gurgler. I'm sorry. You're right. It's sperm gurgler. My bad. So, yeah, this one.
Sperm gurgler.
Sperm gurgler. Sperm gurgler announced on Friday that her administration has restored voting rights for more than 66,000 felons. The Democrats gained 66,000 new voters with this move. The rights to serve on jury, run for public office, and become a notary public were also restored under Spanberger's direction. Did she restore their rights to own guns? Because that's the only one that really matters. That's the only one that's actually in the Constitution.
Oh, no.
That's the thing they don't ever do, though. They restore these other rights, but not that one. Not the one that's actually in the Constitution.
Oh, no. No. You should put more restrictions on guns.
By giving these Virginians back their ability to make the impact at the local and state and nationwide levels, we're empowering our neighbors to take hold of their second chance. Virginia is one of 3 states that strips convicted felons of their right to vote. It used to be almost every state did this. Almost every state did it. And then it started basically like rolling back. And then like a lot of states, it's automatic. Like you can't vote while you're in prison.
Right.
But they're trying that. There's states that are trying. There might be some states that did it, but they were like that they wanted people in prison to be able to vote. And then it's like, well, wait, like people said, wait a minute, you have a prison that has 40,000 inmates in it or whatever, 4,000, say 5,000 inmates, 40,000 is a lot, say 5,000 inmates in a small town that has a population of 5,000. They're going to be voting and they're going to be deciding who the sheriff is. They're going to be prisoners are going to be deciding who the sheriff is. The prisoners are going to be deciding who, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't do that.
And makes take control of the crazy house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doc says, when I first moved to Virginia in the aughts, my area was conservative. By the time I left, we had trans county board of supervisors. Glad I got out when I got out. Oh, it's sperm burper, not sperm gargler? Okay.
Sperm burper. Oh my God, that's even worse.
Because
that means you swallowed and it came back up.
So Glenn Youngkin, the Republican, previously rolled back a policy of automatically restoring felons' rights and chose to evaluate applications on a case-by-case basis. Youngkin had restored the right to vote to about 10,000 felons. The right to vote is fundamental to who we are as Americans. Well, I'd say the right to keep and bear arms is fundamental as who we are as Americans, but you don't really care about that, do you?
I mean, did we or did we not have cannons? Privateers had cannons. Wasn't it a letter of marque?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could have that back in the day. Everything that the military had back in the day, we could have. Again.
This is just crazy. This is the woman who passed the most draconian restrictive gun laws like ever. You know, and who's there? What is it? Isn't their motto on their state flag "Sic semper tyrannis" or something like that? Like thus for tyrants or something, whatever it is.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're talking about that, hold on. Don't raise us think about that because we'll have it changed like the Minnesota flag. All right. We're not going to do that. However, nope. Go ahead. It's your channel.
That's all right. So but this is it. Check this out. So I am proud that after contending with my predecessors' efforts to deny Virginians their fundamental rights, that we have restored the right to more than 66,000 Virginians who have served their time. These Virginians deserve the right to use their vote, make their voices heard, be recognized as contributing citizens to our Commonwealth and country. Then they should get their rights to keep and bear arms back.
Hold on.
You really believe this?
Hold on. We covered a story where the biggest cache of explosives in this country was found. This cache of explosives. This.
Keep talking. 1 second. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. This dude actually had. You know the shit that makes TNT? He had the chemical sitting right next to his son's fucking lunch in a refrigerator. What is that? It's hydro something. God, I forget what it is. The tetro, God, the active chemical. But he had this in a beaker in his child's refrigerator right next to their lunch. This dude had enough explosive. He was already missing fingers from explosions. This dude had enough to take out half his neighborhood in his basement. He was already missing fingers from mistakes that have been made. Should we allow him to have weapons?
I mean, I personally think any infringement on the right to keep and bear arms, my personal belief is if you're not in prison, then you should have the right to keep and bear arms.
Okay. Jim, you kind of know me. You know how dark and disturbed I can be. You know how smart I am.
Right, I'm just saying though, like we have laws that say if you do something, you're punished for what you do. But anything,
right? But what could I do with the amount of ability our government has? I could be worse than Timothy McVeigh in the drop of a hat, especially how as I rage out against stupid people, I could just snap one day. And then you got a dirty bomb in the middle of some city.
Well, there's a different, like the thing is, the difference would be like nuclear bombs and stuff like that. Those would fall into like, there's always been restrictions on like nuisance. Like you couldn't have like a nuisance thing, like where you would be shooting cannons, like you can't infringe on your neighbors. Like you couldn't have like things that are dangerous, just that could be dangerous.
Yeah, I'm
to your
shooting
neighbors.
cannons at my neighbor's house. Yeah, that's a nuisance. I get you. But however, we should have every weapon that the government has, so I should have nukes, right?
No, because that's because that's not something. It's not like something you could carry. You can't carry a nuke with yourself. Like,
So why does private organizations build nuclear fucking weapons for our military?
They get special permits from the DEA, or no, I'm sorry, from the ATF. They get a special permit to build the nukes.
Oh, you need a permit. You need the government to tell you it's okay. But then again, the Constitution says any infringement is against the Constitution, right? So I should be able to build a nuclear weapon.
Well, I mean, you could try to build one, I guess.
And then I'm going to be reined the fuck in very quickly.
If your explosive guy is missing digits, it's kind of a red flag. Well, all the greatest bomb makers are usually missing fingers. That's how you would always find the guys when, like in Iraq, when they would go and they find a guy that looks like this, his hand looks like this. It's like, or
then
like
again,
it's like, it's like, that guy might have lost a few fingers. So, but Duck Fat says not violent felons. Fuck that. If they're too violent to have guns, they should be in prison.
That's
what I'm saying. Like if they're violent people, if they are violent, then they should be in prison.
I don't have anything on my record that would tell the government in any way I am violent, except for the fact that I fought my sister when I caught her manufacturing meth. So am I a violent person because she attacked me and I defended myself and my rights should be taken away? I am the antithesis to everything the Second Amendment really is. Because I am dark, I am disturbed, I am way too fucking intelligent for my own good. I can do some fucked up shit.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Hacker.
But my morality keeps me from that.
Well, that's the thing. But that's the thing too. Like just because somebody makes one mistake, if they're not, you know what I mean, and they makes one mistake, I don't think their rest of their life should be destroyed. No matter what, I don't, you know what I mean. Now, if that one mistake is like hurting kids or doing something like that, well, that's a little different story. You know what I mean? They should be probably locked up. But if that one mistake is like, stuff like that, but if the one mistake is like, this guy had a barrel on a gun that was too short one time, I don't think that guy should lose, or had like the wrong kind of ammunition or went across state lines with a magazine in his pocket that was illegal in this other state. Like, I don't,
the only time I think your Second Amendment right should be taken away is if you prove even one action, you prove that you don't value human life because you shoot this thing without any training, without everything, just spray and pray kind of situation like we see with gang violence every damn time it happens. People get strays all the time because, and they got switches. They just sit here and do this.
The thing. How did they get those switches? Those switches are illegal. How did they get them? They come in through the this is the thing. Like they come in through the post office from China.
Should they be though?
I don't think they should be, but they are. My point is that the same thing happened with those IDs that came in from China. All these switches are all over. They confiscated the IDs and said, we got these IDs, so we know these people couldn't use them. But how many IDs got through? Probably 100 times more than they found, because look at all the switches they're confiscating, yet they're everywhere.
I mean, if Muskegon County actually brings anything into the fucking record, yeah, it's millions upon millions. And if you take that countrywide, it's a bigger problem. You're right.
Thing too, like Gundam says, the bulk of the power of a nuke comes from the criticality of the radiological material. That material passively prevents a danger to life and limb. There is cause of the regulation. Yeah, that's the thing. Like that falls under the strange and unusual.
But I shouldn't be
or dangerous and unusual.
I shouldn't be stopped from doing so because of the Second Amendment. For everything our government has, I should have myself. That is the point.
I think we should be able to have, C-rams on our roof to prevent, if someone might, what if my neighbor gets a drone and he wants to try a drone at my house? I should be able to defend my house from a drone. What if, what if a tyrannical government takes over and they want to start, like Joe Biden threatened to use F-18s on us to kill it. Remember, we got F-18s, you got your rifle. I might need some air defenses then to protect myself because,
Do I need Patriot on my fucking lawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need Patriot missiles, like those are manufactured by a private company. I should be able to buy them. The difference too is I believe, if I'm not mistaken though, the nuclear material like the bombs are built by these private companies, but the nuclear material doesn't get put in until it's put in by the military. You know what I mean? The actual core is inserted by military scientists.
No.
You sure? Because
No.
this is the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the Department of Energy is in charge of all that stuff. No?
I'm going to tell you right here, right now, I can say this. I worked on the Redstone fucking arsenal. I was in a goddamn nuclear silo without knowing I was in a nuclear silo. There is a reason why Redstone Arsenal was built on a limestone quarry. No.
Really? I don't know.
And that's all I can say legally without my
They only
ass
build the
being
parts.
reined in.
They don't build the entire nuclear weapon. I don't know. I thought they built like the electronics, the different things, the missiles and stuff. And the
Hold
actual
up.
package was
Here's the thing behind that.
The fissile material was put in by the government, I thought.
Here's the thing behind that. Your military industrial complex is broken up between thousands upon thousands of different corporations that build one fucking part. Yes, it is the actual government that puts the finalization on everything, but that finalization is the okay. That's it. Everything we have, including nuclear missiles, is built by private organizations. It's all put together, yes, under government control, but it is me who builds that shit for you.
Werner von Braun ran Redstone.
Look, von Braun is not who y'all actually point him out to be. Take a trip to Huntsville, Alabama. You want to see it? The most famous quote is for him is, "I wanted to build rockets. Unfortunately, they just hit the wrong planet."
Yeah.
Von Braun is not who he is pointed out to be. Take a trip here and you will actually see it. That motherfucker helped America bigger than, I'm going to say, the Industrial Revolution.
Well, he was put this without offending people. He was a man of his time in his place, where he was the best rocket scientist in the world in the 1940s, 30s, and 40s. And he just happened to be German. And in Germany, there was a ton of really great scientists in Germany. You know what I mean? But he built rockets. That's what he did. He didn't launch them at anybody. It wasn't his responsibility. He was just building rockets. Now, what they decided to use the rockets for, the technology was what they used, so the V1 to V2, different things, advanced. But I mean, we would not, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the space program we have. We would not have
no,
none of it.
No. And I'm telling you right now, Huntsville, Alabama, take a trip to it. Visit the Space and Rocket Center. Visit everything. The Von Braun Civic Center that we have here. Everything is built off this man. We would not have America without him. Because that nuclear fucking bomb we dropped twice on fucking Japan wouldn't have been a thing without his expertise. Sorry, America. You wouldn't have won without a Nazi designing your engines. And that's the truth. That was the reason behind Operation Paperclip.
So she urged voters to vote yes on a constitutional amendment that would automatically restore voting rights for convicted felons upon completing their sentences, which actually I don't really have a problem with this. I think if you complete your sentences, get your rights to vote back. I think you should get all the rights. I think when you get out, I personally think when you get out of jail, you get all your rights back.
Oh,
everything.
100%.
There shouldn't be any.
Okay. How about if you get off probation? Because
well, yeah, whatever you have to.
When you get out of jail, it's not proven
you
that
have to
you're
complete your
actually
sentence.
acclimated.
If you have 3 years of supervised release or something afterwards, or parole or whatever, probation, whatever it is, and you have to pay back your fines or whatever it is, restitution. You have to, once everything's complete and done, it should be automatic.
All rights restored no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing that should bar you from that is sedition, treason, the biggest fucking problems we ever have. That should be the only thing that bars you from at least the first 10 amendments of the United States, our Bill of Rights.
So not only is sperm gurgler trying to get as many convicted felon voters as possible, but her state is now pausing the removal of non-citizen voters from voting rolls 90 days before an election, in accordance with a court settlement between Virginia and a campaign legal center. Yeah, don't take the illegals off. So according to Judicial Watch, Virginia canceled 6,531 declared non-citizen voter registrations, but Virginia entered into a settlement with a leftist group to pause the program to remove the declared non-citizens from voting rolls for the 90-day period before federal elections. This whole thing, especially with New Jersey too, them saying we're not going to give you the names of the people who broke federal law. I would arrest them. They're aiding and abetting. They're accessories after the fact. They're violating their misprison of a felony. I mean, all these things are just basically stopping it. So,
well, let me ask you a question with this though, as far as that is concerned. Okay, the 10th Amendment is anything not in the 9th, or anything not in the following 9 is relegated to the states.
Well, no, it's not relegated to the states. It says relegated to the states or the people. It says it's anything not specifically outlined in the Constitution as a federal power or its amendments.
Anything not in the first 9 is still relegated to the states to make their own decision.
Well, they can they can change that by amending the Constitution. Other things that they put in, like the 13th Amendment and the 14th Amendment and the 17th Amendment, these things change the Constitution. So those things, but anything that's not specifically laid out, that's basically the federal government should not be able to have any gun laws.
No,
they have no legal justification to put any. They have nothing in the Constitution. They go on the Commerce Clause, but the Commerce Clause is basically supposed to enable them to make sure that commerce happens between states, that there's not this unfair advantages in states. Basically, the way that they're using the Commerce Clause is the opposite of actually promoting trade. It's infringing trade, restricting trade.
Right. But then again, it says Congress shall make no law, right?
Correct.
It doesn't say federal Congress shall make no law. So if it doesn't say federal and states have their own Congress, if Congress is included, the states can't make that ruling too, right?
Well, that was the longest time they were trying to say about gun laws, like the Second Amendment and all these other things, because they claim that the 14th Amendment basically said that all the states have to give the Bill of Rights to the people, which the Second Amendment's in the Bill of Rights, but yet, and until what was it, McDonald, which happened. McDonald was the case, the Chicago case, where the first one was Heller, I believe, right? Which Heller was DC,
Heller versus DC,
yeah, Heller versus DC, and that's when they said no, the DC, the federal government, it's unconstitutional for the federal government to restrict people's purchasing of handguns for self-defense. To have a handgun in your house is self-defense, but then it still took years, another 10 years or something. I think Heller was in the 90s, then McDonald was later in the 2000s for them to come out and say no, because it was Chicago, where if you lived in Chicago, you couldn't own a handgun.
I agree with that though. Because the people that own handguns in Chicago are the ones causing the problems.
No, that's the thing. And how are you going to defend your house if you can't have a handgun in your house?
You got a point. You restrict the law-abiding citizens, but then again, Chicago would probably be a lot worse.
But that's the thing too, is the law of Chicago law about handguns. They did never charge they didn't charge criminals with that law. They charged people who are law-abiding people who they just happen to find a gun in their house. They would charge them because that's the only thing they could charge them with was having this gun in their house.
So the application of the law was a problem.
Yeah, but even so, like but so basically that McDonald is what said that the Second Amendment applies to the states. The right to keep and bear arms. The states can't infringe on your right to keep and bear arms. I mean, it's crazy too. For the longest time, we didn't have these problems. Like, as far as like, everybody knew you had a Second Amendment right. Everybody knew this. Everybody knew you had a right to keep and bear arms. It wasn't until like the 70s and 80s when these states started doing these goofy shits. Like, but you would have weird cities had weird laws. Like, okay, New York City had a weird law about guns, and Chicago had gun laws, like weird gun laws, but that was like, it was cities, but it was never states. Like every state, like Illinois, believe it or not, Illinois had it in their fucking Illinois Constitution that you have a right to keep and bear arms. Same exact words as the Second Amendment are in the Illinois Constitution. Yet they let these municipalities keep passing laws restricting people's right to keep and bear arms.
And but then again, we also come back to what I was arguing before. If we have the right to keep and bear arms, then it is not constricted. Every arms is everything that the government has. So I should be able to have nukes.
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree as well. But I'm just saying.
No, because that's not, because a nuclear bomb is like, it's not like
it's not arms.
Basically, it's not arms. It's really not. Arms are defined like arms, like, I mean, technically, okay, if you want to go back, like people had warships, you had privateers had their own warships and cannons and stuff like that.
They had everything the military had at that point, right?
I mean, you can legally own a bomber. You can legally own, fighter planes and stuff like that. They would take all the weapon systems basically out of them, but you can buy.
I can put a cannon in my front fucking yard. As long as it cannot be fired and it has been disarmed, it is legal.
Well, I'm pretty sure in Alabama you could have a black powder cannon.
100%. I know three that do.
Yeah, I'm saying you can have a black powder cannon. You just can't, like a lot of places you can buy like artillery pieces too. Like you can have, as long as it's registered, but that's the thing, is the federal government registers all these things. And non-rifled. Well, non-rifled you can have pretty much everywhere that's legal. Like almost everywhere in the country, muskets, you can have basically like black powder muskets, as long as they're not like fired non-modern, they considered antiques. That's completely legit to have.
I'm sorry. You're talking about a generation that saw musket or front-loading muskets into fucking hand crank military, just like automatic weapons, and you're telling me that they didn't see that could eventually come into my hands?
Although they did. That's the thing. Prior to the NFA, you could own anything. Prior to the NFA, you could order out of a Sears catalog, you could order a fully automatic Thompson submachine gun would get delivered to your house from Sears and Roebuck. You could order cases of hand grenades prior to the NFA. You could get anything you wanted. You could go to the hardware store and buy dynamite.
But apparently the NFA is the rule of the land, right?
Well,
even though it is repugnant to the Constitution.
Because it is completely against the Constitution. Because a guy named Miller, who got arrested with a sawed-off shotgun, died, and they still let it go in front of the Supreme Court with nobody presenting the case for Miller's side because the lawyer dropped out, and they didn't make anybody argue the case. So it was a one-sided argument for them to say the NFA is legal.
Right.
Because FDR threatened to pack the court if they didn't.
Yep.
That's what the NFA is, a relic of a fucking tyrannical Democrat commie threatening to pack the court, and so they let it go.
But if we went under Republican rule, everything that we are screaming right now?
No, I don't. That's the thing. I don't trust any of these Republicans. Like, I don't. Like, they should. Why haven't they passed any, like, they've never done anything. They've never rolled back anything. They don't roll back shit.
Right.
They try to stop what they're doing. It's just basically they're standing there going, stop, slow down, not so fast. That's all they're doing.
That's it. That's it. The Republican Party does not conserve shit. You are literally just saying we need to keep it as it is. Which means the left pushes and pushes and pushes until the whole damn point to where we are arguing trans people need to be in women's bathrooms in 10 fucking years. You don't conserve shit. You don't stand for shit. You damn sure don't put up a fucking fight. So the only thing you got is to just be a roadblock to say slow the fuck down. And that's my biggest problem with the Republican Party. Y'all don't have any goddamn balls. And that's the problem with me with the Republican Party altogether. You don't have the balls enough to say enough is enough. And if 2020 and all the riots and everything did not prove that to you, then you're just living in a fantasy fucking land. They were kicking your teeth in. They were making sure that you didn't have a job. They were canceling you for every and anything that you said. And you just said, well, it shouldn't happen, but I'm going to go ahead and take it on the chin.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The whole thing is fucked, man. It really is.
I mean, 100%. But then again.
But, I mean, it's not.
When those people.
You have to take, I mean, that's the thing. People go, oh, the lesser of two evils. Well, you kind of gotta, because if you don't vote or you waste your vote, and then the communists win, or the Democrat, whatever, communist Democrats, whatever you want to classify them as, they end up winning and taking more power. And some people think there's some people who make the argument, let them do it because it's going to get so bad, then people will wake up. But I know.
Understand what you're going to have to go through for.
You're going to have to go through something, and then
retards to understand your point.
Yeah, but you can't count on then these people coming in and winning. You'll get. Like, look at the Tea Party. I thought when the Tea Party came in, I was all for the Tea Party. I was at all these things. I thought these people are actually going to do shit. And they got in and they basically just said, well, we don't want to, like, we couldn't even get Obamacare overturned. They couldn't even get it completely repealed.
Right. I do have to take a pee again. I've been drinking. I'll be right back.
No problem. King of Cats says that's by design. The Democrats are supposed to do crooked shit and our Republicans are supposed to fail to stop them. They are the same party. And sometimes I think that's, pretty true. Hey, Silver Star, thank you so much for the 2 silver stars. Thank you for your 2 cents. So O'Keefe Media Group drops part 2 of the New York City. Jim, it's your show to sabotage. Oh, man, I'm sorry you feel that way. O'Keefe Media Group drops part 2 of the New York City fraud. Bodega is caught selling alcohol using SNAP and EBT benefits. So O'Keefe Media dropped a 2-part of the latest sting dubbed "Fraud is the New Dope." All
right.
So federal law is clear. SNAP benefits are eligible for food items only under Food and Nutrition Act of 2008. So we've also uncovered another loophole at the Harlem Bodega. After manipulating an EBT transaction, the clerk converted taxpayer-funded benefits into cash. Minutes later, the same cash was used to purchase beer. Yeah, I mean, this goes on all the time. Everybody knows this. I just saw a video the other day of a black woman at a Publix supposedly calling some woman to complain because you sold me a card that's got no money on it. It's like, lady, and then she started yelling at the guy, don't you record this? You put this, I'll get you, I'll sue you. All this stuff is like, man, what are you, crazy? You can record people. So let's see. Here we go.
I'm going to stay silent on that one.
34th and 44th Street in Queens, New York, outside this bodega, and a man just using his EBT card swiped for beer.
EBT cash now? No cash.
Tried it as cash first.
Cash first. And then I said, can you, come on, do it as food. Brother, do it as food. And he said, all right, thank you.
So we actually used the EBT card to buy beer.
My girl got a minimum. Stuck right there to the number.
Now, I will say that's kind of entrapment. I know it's not that they're not the government, so you can't really say that they were entrapped. I know people try to say it's entrapment, but technically you can't really entrap somebody, I don't think, unless you're a state actor, right? I mean, a private person can't, or is it?
Kind of yes and kind of no. I mean, you can entrap somebody as a person if you make the whole. Technically, this is entrapment as far as that is concerned. However, bringing light to something like this isn't a personal gain for you. This is to bring light to something. It's covered.
No, what I'm saying, like, okay, no, like for the guy who did it, like these people that are committing, like, I don't know if they could be charged or not. Can they be charged for doing this? Because the guy said, come on, just do it.
I mean, they 100% can be charged, but James O'Keefe can't. Because he's not
it's not because it's not a still he's a you don't think that the Democrats would go after him and say he's in a conspiracy to break
damn sure would. They damn sure would try, but it's not entrapment, is seeing as how he is not enforcement, like you said. He is not enforcement. He is just going in there as a citizen, making a purchase on a citizen. The only thing you could really get this person for swiping EBT for is maybe fraud at the very least.
Well, I think at a minimum, the stores that are doing this can lose their ability to take should lose their ability to take it. They should just say you can't take EBT anymore.
I don't think gas stations should have that right in the first damn place. Because what do you really serve?
I mean, I guess they could buy a bag of chips or something or pop. I don't know. Any place that sells food, you can use EBT for it. But they do have EBT because they can use EBT cash.
If you can't use EBT at McDonald's, how the fuck are you going to use EBT at grocery stores?
You can use EBT at McDonald's. I mean, you can use EBT cash. You can't, but you can.
And it's a problem. But
it's a problem because they look into it.
Before that,
Jonah Finn says, keep not voting in every election, be it local, state, or federal, and you'll get what you deserve. Apathy will not gain you empathy later. Doc says, I find it amazing James hasn't been shot yet. It's fraud.
You know how many times that James O'Keefe has been targeted, though?
Well, like they went after him over that. I don't understand how
this motherfucker has had incredible attempts on him. And he hasn't spoken about it. But yes.
With the here, Duck Fat. Okay, I got a rant. Thank you. Oh, this is funny. Okay. All right. Duck Fat says, here you go again, Jim. This one is 5,000% more than that YouTube big spender. Because the one was two joules. That's 2 cents. So this is 100 cents. So it's five. I don't think it's 5,000%. Is that 5,000% more? That's 50 times more.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be $50.
Yeah. You owe me $49 if you want to 5,000. So come up with the $49.
55, 50. That would be 500. You got to move 3 decimal places to the right for 5,000%. So yeah, that would be 500.
Yeah. So well, let's see. 100% more would have been 4 cents. So 1,000% more would be 40 cents. Right?
No. Every decimal place as far as percentage, every zero that you have as far as percentage, move the decimal place to the right.
He says we're not good at math. I don't know. I don't get it.
5,000%. Okay, so if it's 50 cents, if 50,
well, 100% more would be 4 cents, right? Because if it's 2 cents, 100% more would be 4 cents. So if you go like so 1,000%,
and then 100% more of that.
Well, no, because you're going to go off of you're going to multiply. So 100% more of that would be.
Hold on, let's make this easy. Let's move it 5,000. Let's skip that 1,000. Move the decimal places 3 to 50.
If you multiply 0.02 times 5,000, it's $1.
50 see, I've been 50 cents, $5, and then $50, and then $500 times 5. So that'd be 2,500.
I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Thank you so much for the $1, and I will credit. So we're now 94 away. So see,
look, y'all made us do some shit tonight.
Get these in-depth discussions of math and other crazy stuff. So vote for mayor. Your vote counts. Vote for us representative. Someone has already won. And can't help myself with these YouTubers. Well, thank you. EBT is screwed up to begin with. Back to government cheese, butter, and eggs. Or go back to the actual coupons. The actual coupons where you got a coupon for a loaf of bread, a coupon for this. You know what I mean? Like,
do you remember when that was a mark of shame?
It was. People were ashamed of it. $10. Yeah, that's what I thought. It would 5,000. I think would be $10.
I'd have to do. I'm drunk as hell. I'd have to do that. But yeah. No.
It's math. Yeah. Food stamps. Yeah, go back to the food stamps. Yeah, government peanut butter is awesome. All right, so let's see.
Leave it smooth, operator looking like a bum. You just sell my friend beer using an
Oh goddamn, we were all fucking wrong.
You speak English?
No, you do.
Is he pretending not to speak
No, he
English?
does. He understands.
See if he can get a picture of the license. Yeah, be careful. Be careful. He's ballsy, man.
Way the hell up.
Why are you filming us? Why don't you film him? Do I feel good about myself?
That's what you do on a fucking Monday night?
I'm an investigative reporter. They always film me.
My girl's got a city to run. Got the key to the kingdom where the money's from. Never seen the color yellow, never seen the sun.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's for the chips.
Everything or no?
What's up, man? 5, 6, 7, 8. What if we go in with this cash and go buy some illicit shit? We use the EBT card, we got some cash, and then we use the cash to buy some beer.
Well, I don't know. So look, I'm having major internet troubles. I'm sorry, Joe. Hope this helps. Thank you. Man.
You know, come to think of it, I was looking at it. I did Google it. Bring up my screen real quick.
Okay, we're 92 away now. Let's go. So I'll remove this. We'll put this up.
Yeah, I fucked up math horribly. 5,000% of 0.5 is $25.
So what about 0.02?
0.02 of what?
It was 2 cents. It was 0.02.
Oh, it was 2 cents?
Yeah.
Oh, so I've got all that wrong.
$10.
$10.
So 02 is $1. So he was right. I was wrong.
Yeah, he was right. I was thinking it was 50 cents. My bad. But I was still wrong altogether in every bit of the word.
Okay, you're right. Former accountant. You're right. We're wrong.
I mean, we proved you right. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? They make Miller beer with corn. That's why I can't stand to taste it, I guess. I like my hops and barley. Well, if they make it with corn, is that way you can use food stamps to buy it? If they make it with corn?
Ooh.
Says, I was right.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
I'm fucked up in math.
I don't know who's right.
Thank you.
Thanks for helping my friend. Yeah, get the cash for the EBT card. Thank you.
My girl's got a little stick. Keep you cool up in the kitchen while you feed the cake. Keep you waiting in the window while the tank ticks.
There is money in fraud, but there's no money in exposing the fraud.
My girl got a city to run.
This is James O'Keefe in Queens, New York, in the neighborhood of Jackson Heights. And right behind me is a bodega, and inside they are selling alcohol using SNAP benefits.
Hola, ¿cómo está, señora? ¿Usted tiene cerveza? Sí. ¿Qué corona? Va a usar la tarjeta de EBT. EBT, la tarjeta de EBT. EBT, tú sabes, del gobierno.
Okay.
Para food stamps. Okay.
Keep in mind that while this card doesn't work, our main objective was to show the bodega clerk's willingness to classify and sell alcohol as an eligible food despite federal law.
¿Qué pasó?
Oh, porque la cerveza no pasa con la tarjeta de gobierno.
Oh, pero lo puedes correr como comida.
Pero no, lo puse como comida, pero no pasa.
Ok, lo puse porque quizás no tiene balance, es que no tiene balance.
The bodega clerk confirms that she is attempting to run the purchase of alcohol as a food transaction. The journalist even confirms this a second time.
La tarjeta de gobierno no pasa bebida alcohólica.
Pero si tú pusiste comida, ellos no saben que es cerveza.
Ajá, pero como quiera la tiro de clean.
Como parece que él no tiene fondo.
Okay.
Es que no tiene fondo. Sí, porque tú pusiste que era como comida, ¿verdad?
Notice the undercover repeats herself twice, confirming that the clerk, quote, ran it as food. And the clerk confirms both times that she did exactly that. This violates that.
Like, I'm confused by this. Like, so this could be like, and I hate to have to do this to say, like, I'm trying to give them credit here. Like, maybe this lady's just saying, oh, I did run it as food, but because they're saying the card didn't work, the card has no balance. So they're not, what is going on here? Why would you give them a card that has no balance?
All you're showing is a willingness for a single individual to break the law.
Yeah.
It's not actually showing that this is a huge problem at this point in time. Now, probably further on, considering that he was in a car carrying a six-pack and said he bought it with an EBT card, apparently it's going to happen eventually. But all you're showing is she's just breaking company policy.
And the fraud that I'm like this stuff. Honestly, I don't really care about this, and people can be mad at me, but I don't care about somebody going in and using it to buy beer or something. They're still using the money to buy something. Like, yeah, it's a joke, whatever. I want the people that are taking the cards and they swipe the cards and they basically charge a whole bunch of food and they give people cash back. Like, they take the cards. A lot of these bodega owners, they take the cards and they'll go to like a Costco or something and they'll buy a bunch of stuff that they can buy with the cards legally, and then they pay the people cash back so they can resell it here to make a profit.
You're right.
And so they give them like, 50 cents on a dollar or 60 cents on a dollar or something like that, or maybe less.
However,
that's the people where I'm like, that's got to go away. That's got to stop.
You're right. It is. But however, this is more prevalent than what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. Dude, stuff gets misclassed all the time. Even paper food stamps for fence for pennies on a dollar. No, I know that. I'm just saying, like, I know that. I know people that used to I've had people offer to sell me their EBT cards, and I say, no, I won't do that. Just maybe I'm an idiot.
I've done it.
But I won't do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, like, seriously, like people that are drug addicts and stuff, they'll be like, hey, I know this person, they get $800 in food stamps, for $400. They'll let you just go buy $800 worth of steaks and throw them in your freezer. I'm like, no, I won't. I'm not going to do that.
I mean,
it's my tax dollars that are paying for it anyway.
I didn't do that. But when I was down bad, I did buy 50 cents on the dollar. I did buy other people's food stamps to make sure that my $30 that I had in groceries, it kept me for the week. And that was when I was homeless.
Well,
I understand like, people that are doing desperation, but
if the people that are doing it actually need the food to survive because they can't, they're not doing it just to make a profit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, if I was starving, my grandkids were starving, if I had to get food and I didn't have money and I could go, well, if I could basically make my money go twice as far to buy them food, I would.
You're going to do it.
I'm not in a position where I need to do something like that. So I wouldn't do something like that. I guess maybe that's it. Maybe I'm making an argument of the Democrats now that it's all poverty driven and that's why the crime is the way.
But this right here is not what we're talking about as anything. But the only thing you're showing is a dumbass motherfucker who's literally willing to break the law just to get along.
They're buying kratom at bodegas in New York City with EBT cards. That's not good. I don't support that.
Kratom is actually, whoa, hold on. I got something on that. We'll bring it up here in a second, but let me find it. Kratom is actually going to be rescheduled.
That's the synthetic kratom, right? Not the natural kratom.
Yeah, it's synthetic. Yeah, you're right.
The synthetic, because the synthetic is it's the same thing. Like people are like in the 90s, GHB and like ecstasy and all that stuff was not scheduled yet.
Well, it's not synthetic as a whole. It's just potent as shit. But bring this up real quick.
You've probably seen it sold in bottles or pills. It's called kratom, meant to help with pain relief, anxiety, and you have to be 18 or older to buy it. Now the DEA is effectively banning a potent extract from it, scheduling it as a Class 1 substance.
Schedule 1 drug shows that there's no medicinal value to the drug, and it also shows high addiction, high use for abuse.
Biochemical engineer Moshe Williams, who researches Class 1 substances, says the specific extract that the DEA is going after is called 7-hydroxymitrogynine, otherwise known as 7-OH, that's naturally found in kratom.
Very similar to morphine.
Now the DEA is allowing this to be sold if its potency is at 0.05% or lower. which Williams says is what is naturally found in the kratom plant. The problem the DEA claims to be seeing in these products that are synthetically made have a potency that is way higher and a lot more dangerous.
If they're making it into a synthetic, they're getting it into its 100% form. You can stop breathing from this. People have died from using this drug just because of how potent it is.
The same argument can be made for weed.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I think weed has gotten a little strong, and it
100%.
That we're like, especially kids, younger kids that brains aren't fully developed. I think that's why we're seeing a lot more psychosis and other shit happening, is because the weed is just way too strong. It really is. It's too strong.
Here's the thing: the reason why you're seeing psychosis, you're 100%. It is way too strong. Here's the thing. You actually have receptors in your brain for the intake of THC. Once you overload those receptors, your body sees it as a toxin that it must get rid of, but it can't get rid of it for hours on end. And that's where your body goes into that freak out mode. It goes into that psychosis mode, because if you puke, it's in your bloodstream. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
So that's why that is a thing. Yes, it has gotten way too strong, but the psychosis you see is in people who, number one, don't have enough cannabinoid receptors in their brain to take in the THC that they're bringing in. And number two, it's way too fucking potent, because I remember even before 33 fucking % THC was a thing, my ass was passed out from smoking a blunt and a half, to the whole point to where I literally saw pretzels in one hand, a blunt in the other hand, pretzels in one hand, and stuck the blunt in my mouth. That was my first interaction with weed.
No, I mean, I remember getting skunk weed in the 80s, and it was like 4 to 5% or whatever.
Yeah, that ain't nothing to today.
No, I'm just saying, and that was some good shit. And then I remember in the 90s getting jarred Northern Lights hydroponics, but that was still that was primo super, $300 an ounce weed at the time, and it was maybe 14%, maybe 15%.
You know the problem?
Now it's in the 30s, and then now people are. That's the thing. They're getting these the vapes that you get. They're 50%, 60%.
Which is dabs, which can be up to 99%, and I can bring it to that potency. But here's the thing: what you are doing is removing the CBD, which is literally what keeps you from getting high. So when you're talking about 5 to maybe 14% in our primo days back in the day, most of it was CBD. You remove the CBD from the trichome to make it 33%. You're taking the chemical that keeps you from getting high away from what makes you high. And the THC effect on the brain literally tricks the brain into thinking that you don't have enough oxygen, even though you do, to keep you running. It tricks your brain into thinking that you don't have enough oxygen. And that high feeling, that euphoria feeling, is literally your brain thinking you're going into hypoxic mode. You're not getting enough oxygen in the brain. And that okay, everything feeling is that moment right before death.
I know, I don't know, man. I went a couple, 10 years ago. What was it? Maybe about 10 years ago, I went up to for New Year's. I went up to my buddy's house and I hung out with him for New Year's, and he gave me a gummy, and he told me that he's like, oh, this is like a 20 milligram gummy, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know how strong that is. wait. No, wait. All right. And he's like, well, just eat half of it then. So I ate half of it. And it turns out it was a 50 milligram gummy. It wasn't a 20 milligram gummy. But here's the bad thing. All right, so I ate half of it. And then about a half hour later, I'm like, I don't really feel anything. He's like, oh yeah, see, you didn't eat enough of it. Eat the rest of it. And dude, I was sitting on the couch, seeing things. It was like I was on acid. And I was like, oh, this ain't good, dude.
No, no, it ain't. there is a difference between ingesting and smoking. 100%. Like ingesting, you have to give it about an hour before you actually really feel something. It has to metabolize through your system. From smoking, it's literally about 10 minutes or so, if at most. And that depends on the potency and everything like that. But when you ingest it, even at 20 milligrams, you're talking about a blunt you're taking to the fucking head, dude.
Yeah.
Just by yourself. Nobody else smoking. You smoke that entire damn cigarillo all the way down. That's what you're talking about.
Look at this, $20 from Duck Fat. It's fine. I'm out of YouTuber jokes. Here, Jim, keep telling us. Well, thank you for the 20. That is awesome. I can't give all my rant money to Joe. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That means we're now 72 away. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big, like, I did smoke a lot of weed when I was younger. Like, not, I think, well, to me, I thought it was a lot. But, you know,
I'm going to be honest, I still do.
It wasn't.
I still do. And it's only literally because with that ability, this is why I drink. This is why I smoke. In every classification of the word, you could probably call me half-ass autistic and half-ass ADD. All right? When I smoke, when I drink, all the noise in the background, all that processes that goes away. While I'm talking to you guys right now, I'm thinking of 4 other things, and that's because I'm inebriated. If I wasn't, I would probably be thinking about 90 other things while I'm having this conversation and half-ass present in this conversation. It allows the noise in the background of my head to shut the fuck up for a while. Is it not beneficial to me?
Sure.
But
I don't, you know,
for somebody else who doesn't have that qualification, who doesn't have this need for something like that, yeah, then you get your lethargic, you get your couch potato, you get that bullshit. But then again, is that not beneficial than there's some motherfucker out there running the fucking streets? We may have a fat and lazy ass society, but at least they aren't violent running up in somebody else's house.
well, isn't the news, like I'm saying, like this new super strong, like people always used to say, like I remember growing up, the people always say that weed wasn't addicting. You know, it's not addicting. You don't go through withdrawals, you don't think. But now I hear people do, like the new stuff, the super strong stuff. They do basically have withdrawals from it.
At that point, yes, because it is becoming a chemical instead of everything. But between that, it was a mental dependence. The only thing that you actually had was, God, I wish I could smoke weed and maybe put your hand through a fucking wall. Now it's, if I don't smoke weed, I'm going to commit murder because we've made it too damn potent. We have removed the chemical that stops you from getting high to a point to where your brain thinks you're hypoxic as shit. Everything is okay, so your inhibitions go to the wind. And it is a problem for those who don't know, who aren't experienced with it. So when you're coming up with a new generation of people who just try at 30%, there is a problem because they don't know how to manage. So when I'm smoking a joint with somebody and I introduce them to that, I may have built up a tolerance. I may understand that. But that person who has never come across this in any way smokes this entire joint with me, and now they're freaking out because their body literally thinks it's a poison from day one. Or from first inhale. They think it's a poison because the body's never come across it. And then all of a sudden, you're flooding the body with that poison to where the brain thinks you're literally going into hypoxic mode. You're not getting enough oxygen. It's time to freak the fuck out. What we experience smoking weed, Jim, is nothing to today. I can literally pack a bowl and smoke on it 4 or 5 times. But as a child, not knowing, not understanding, not going through the process, not having those moments where it's just too much, and then you immediately flood your body with something that it thinks is a poison, what do you think is going to happen?
Not sure.
Exactly what we're seeing.
So I don't know. We'll see what's more of this stuff here. If there's anything else. What's going on? Is my internet? Fuck no. Not going to play. Is it going to commercial me?
My wife made a point.
What's that?
If you have enough people doing the same thing that I do without understanding the effects and your limits, you wind up with the same civilization as in the movie Serenity, where those people had that gas that was pumped into them to make them docile, and then they just didn't do shit and laid down and died.
Wow.
It's the same situation.
I said, yeah.
What we got here?
This is the same stuff. It's more. Hey, what's up, Leave God? How you doing? Hamburger Helper says cannabis is harmless in the grand scheme. I don't honestly, I don't know if it's harmless for kids. I don't think teenagers should be smoking this stuff. Honestly, I don't. I think if they're going to go the legalization route, there needs to be strict laws in place that if you sell it to kids, you're going to jail.
Hold on, though. And I'm going to be honest with you. If it wasn't for me smoking weed with my mother, I might not have understood it. And my mother literally caught me smoking. She found some weed, and she's just like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it with me. And I got high with my own fucking mother. Which, honestly, my mother wasn't the best influence in my life. Not going to lie. But it also brought me to an understanding of the whole point that if I act out in any way, of course, she's going to beat the ever-loving fuck out of me because that's who my mother is. But it curbed me from being high and letting that be a reason for whatever I was doing. Because if I acted out while I was high around her, my ass was getting beat. So if I acted out and high in public without her, my ass is getting beat. That's the way my brain processed that. So I'm not. I mean, literally, I do smoke weed. I've got no problem with it in any way, shape, or form. As long as you can manage yourself, as long as you can handle it and you know your limits, that's fine. I'm not trying to do the cannabis cup, whatever the fuck. I'm not trying to do all that. If you can handle yourself on it, I don't care. However, I do draw that line that when work needs to be done, your ass can't be high. To a point to where if anybody's high on the job, even as a smoker, I got a problem with you. Because you're trying to, it is bizarre. We're all over the place, but this is off label too. So,
let's see.
You ready? Yeah. No. Oh, man.
The fact that this clerk first says no confirms that he is well aware of the law that forbids this transaction. But with little persuasion, the clerk gives in and rings up the alcohol with the journalist's EBT card.
EBT cash, no? No cash. Brother, do it as food. Thank you.
If our undercover journalists can easily convince multiple clerks at bodegas to classify their booze purchases as EBT food, imagine how frequently actual EBT card holders get away with this every day.
Well, I'm sure it's happening a lot. I think O'Keefe is doing good work out here doing it. So
I'm sorry, I do love O'Keefe. To me, this just doesn't prove anything other than an American just wants to Fuck the law.
Yeah. So, but here, this is that. Remember, we were talking about that Chinese Francesca Hong, the Democrat nominee for Wisconsin governor. So she's backed by the socialists and everything. And she says that Americans shouldn't celebrate Thanksgiving. All right. She says that cancel Thanksgiving. It should have been done in 1621.
Because we gave smallpox blankets to the Indians?
Yeah, that didn't happen. That never happened. That's all bullshit. But they're basically trying, that whole argument's like, oh, so you mean to tell me we knew about biological warfare back then? No, they didn't know about it.
Before we knew about germ theory, we were doing biological warfare. Okay. We didn't even know where smallpox came from, but apparently we were giving smallpox blankets purposely to the Indians. All right.
So it says, if it takes a worldwide pandemic for us to realize we should stop celebrating colonialism and the original super spreader event that killed indigenous folks and women, so be it. Like,
why the fuck did you spell folk that way?
Because they're that's how they call them. You know, that, the X, you know, that tinks and all that stuff. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's been scientifically proven that the outbreak of syphilis, right? Is it syphilis came from the Americas, right? And basically like destroyed the fucking Europe.
The Tuskegee experiment?
No, I'm saying way earlier. Like when the first explorers came back, there was this whole thing. They called it the Venetian disease or something like that because it.
Well, that's why they wore wigs to hide that shit. But yeah. Apparently,
really
we've always been rolled by syphilitic motherfuckers.
Yeah. Referring to the spread of smallpox that killed many indigenous Americans. The post, which was made in 2020, sheds more lights on Hong's progressive thinking. So, folks, as Stephen Miller says, notes the term used to signal inclusivity with the LGBTQ plus people. So Hong is all but certain to be the Democrat nominee, and she also wants to cancel Thanksgiving. She shares policy positions with other noted progressives. Like, these people are communists. Stop calling them progressives. They're communists. French pox, English pox. Yeah, it was like something they call like the Venice pox or something. Like they had these weird names for because they didn't know what it was from. But they've done like study. Like I saw it was like a year or so ago. They did like scientifically. They were able to prove that the disease came, like it all started. They blamed somebody else for it, but it all started because of the people coming back from the New World. Like somebody slept with some, had screwed somebody and caught the disease, and then it spread like wildfire through because there was zero, like there was natural, like there was people suffering from it in the Americas, basically South America, stuff like that. But it was like they had developed, it was more like they had developed, it had to have been, was it syphilis or gonorrhea? It was one of the things. Whatever it was, it caused like massive boils on their faces and everything. And
that's syphilis, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, syphilis is the reason why we have those, the English hairstyles, with the wigs, the white wigs and everything. It was to hide the syphilis-ridden sores on their head.
The stances seem to have paid off as Hong's gained momentum. So yeah, this is the commie Chinese broad that wants to be governor of Wisconsin. Like, huh, this is crazy.
This is why birthright citizenship should not be a thing.
And then she also is being mocked because a resurfaced post where she said, "I ate 2 bites of my kid's cheeseburger at Culver's in Black River Falls, and I told them they ran out of ice cream. Mostly just because I wanted to leave because I was on the verge of an anxiety attack. Too many old white people who didn't think we spoke English." Oh my God, English? Bold choice for Democrats ruining somebody who gets a panic attack at Culver's at the sight of old white people. The only way it could be worse is if she had complained that Culver uses too much butter. And one of the Democrats running for governor of Wisconsin who doesn't know that Culver's only serves fresh frozen custard. She thinks they serve ice cream. Yeah, they don't serve ice cream. They serve custard.
Right.
So the race was shaken up when Mandela Barnes, the former lieutenant governor, dropped out of the race. He was considered a front runner because of his proximity to Tony Evers, but they gave him the Swalwell treatment to get rid of him because he wasn't left enough for them. So his exit coincides with rumblings that he may have abused his position to make sexual advances towards women in the workplace. He may have used his position to make sexual advances towards women in the work. So what, he asked someone to go out on dates. I mean, I don't know. I'm not defending the guy. I don't know what he did, but I'm just saying the way that sounds like he just asked, he made sexual advances like, hey, you want to go out and have drinks? Oh my God, he made sexual. I don't know. I mean,
It wouldn't
it
surprise.
was worse than that.
I mean, it honestly wouldn't surprise me though. From everything that we've seen, like apparently, if you get drunk with a woman and you have sex, she's inebriated. She can't give consent, but you can because you're a man and you raped her. Even though you were drunk as shit, even if she was sober and you were drunk, somehow you raped her still. I mean, I can't. No. I mean, I need to hear more about that before I can say sexual advances towards women in the workplace. Are you smacking her ass or did you say, hey, you got a great smile?
That's what I don't understand. When I'm saying sexual advances, I don't know what that exactly means. Because that could be that could be anything from like, hey, if you want this promotion, you're going to blow me or something like that to like, like, hey, you want to go out for drinks after this?
Well, not even that. Just be like, hey, you got a great smile. I'd like to see it more. No, that's sexual harassment. Jim, do you know in the UK, it is sexual harassment to call a bald man bald?
What?
Yes, it is sexual harassment in the UK to call a bald man bald because a whole bunch of bald men got together and said it's a sexual harassment to call a bald man bald. I swear to God, let me look that up for you.
Oh, what's this? Duckfat says, hey, Jim, tomorrow's my first wedding anniversary. Duchess Duckfat has approved of your show and all of your contributions. You should probably thank her sweet ass too. I wouldn't want to. See, I don't want to say your wife has a sweet ass. To me, that's sexual harassment.
I mean, that is.
Like, I don't know if it is or isn't. I would assume if you got married to her, it's got to be pretty sweet.
I mean, even if it wasn't your wife, if I were to say anybody has a nice ass, I would consider that.
I will thank Duchess Duckfat for approving my show and all the contributions. I greatly appreciate it. I will not acknowledge any appendage of hers as being sweet or not sweet. That's a little bit to me risque, and I don't go that way.
I mean, if that is your wife, if she is owned, I'm not going to make any kind of advancement. And I'm not going to say owned as in like property wise. If she is betrothed to somebody, I'm not going to make advancement.
Respect that.
That's why I don't wear a ring. Because there was a woman who my wife knew before I even came into the picture who hit on me after I had a ring, and she did it in front of my wife. You can leave out the ass part, that's fine. Then how do you know what she's talking? I mean, what are we talking about with Butterface? You can't say a Butterface is beautiful. All right. But anyway, check this out, though.
What do you got? Check what out?
Hit my screen real quick.
Oh, okay.
Under use K, the specific precedents, calling a bald man bald can constitute sexual related harassment in the workplace. From the fucking Guardian.
Well, England is lost, man. England is lost.
A whole bunch of bald men came together and saying bald is sexual harassment in the UK. Yes, this happened.
I mean,
as a matter of fact, there you go.
I mean, wait, if they said, how is it sex related? Are they saying it's like rubbing somebody's bald head as a sexual act or something? Like, it calls, come here, baldy, let me rub your head. I mean, maybe something like that, but just saying, that's like saying, like, why are you gay? That's not sexual harassment. That's a question.
But then again, if you were to get drunk and take a woman home from the bar who was also drunk, it is assault if you have anything to do with her while you are inebriated or you are sober. It doesn't matter your state. It matters her state. The same situation in this. This was a fire back to that. And it failed horribly because this is just like, oh my God, are y'all dumb as hell? Apparently, yes.
So this guy got compensation because someone called him bald.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Yes.
This is nuts. They must be hairless impaired, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that is the best way of saying.
I just don't understand because it's not like it's. I mean, are they saying it's? So are they saying it's sexy to have a bald head, or are they saying it's not sex? I don't get it.
I really don't get it either. I don't get it either. But if you're saying bald isn't a derogatory term, apparently it's sexual harassment.
What if you call him a peckerhead?
Well, then you'd definitely be arrested in the United Kingdom because that's offensive. I mean, it's more offensive to call somebody peckerhead than it is bald, right?
Maybe. Well, generally, because when you call somebody a peckerhead, it's like an insult, like that they're stupid.
Right.
Not that it has nothing to do with like. It really doesn't have anything to do with their head looking like a penis. It's just you call them a peckerhead.
You go to jail for saying peckerhead than you would say bald. But it is still an offense. It is a sex-related harassment in the UK to call a man bald. This is where we at as a society of human beings. It's not here in America, get you, 100%. But this is a thing. This is where we've gone as human beings.
Wow. This is crazy. Let's see here. So Hong has received backing from Omar, Rokana, and raised $709,000. Yeah, she just don't look right, man. Like I'm scared. So by comparison, Crowley has secured $250,000 joys in support of a number of local organization figures. Governor Azars has endorsed Crowley, citing his experience. The primary will take place August 11th. Like, so they're I don't know. They think there's going to be something there. So.
Right. Well, hey, Jim.
What's up?
Sorry, brother. I've been here for 4 hours. I am incredibly wasted. I got to go.
All right. Take care.
All right. Y'all have it easy. Y'all take it easy. Here on the off-label side, we're going to end. And I'm going to raid into Jim's channel. Keep it going with Jim. Make this motherfucker work.
All right. Thank you.
And
y'all don't know that I'm a soldier. I always felt like I'm alone when everybody thinks they know ya, and y'all don't even know I own ya. And now I'm ready taking over, 'cause every day I'm getting closer. Just look at everything I'll show ya. And now I'm ready, I'ma blow up.